Live on the Free Odyssey app.
Yeah. Okay, a 4-hour KM to 2 a.m. Dial 888-808-1019 if you'd like to get on the line one time. There's plenty to talk about. There's plenty to do tonight, and we'll try to do it all. I mean, not much has changed from yesterday outside of Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones. We'll talk about Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones has a great opportunity in Indy to win the starting job. And of course, right? Of course, that'll happen. Another Gettleman guy. And I don't want to go down that road. I got to stick to what I was thinking about for my open. And, I just heard in the update, Marco talk about the Yankees pivoting. We'll get to the Yankees pivoting. We will get to what Brian Cashman said. But again, I remind you, these are team sports. This isn't Tiger Woods on a golf course. This isn't tennis. This isn't boxing. These are professional sports played by grown men who have families to feed, who have their own individual legacies and conquests and desires to win. And teams have to pivot. You just heard your Brooklyn Nets. I mean, they're obviously tanking, but they're a much more entertaining tank with a healthy Cam Thomas. They had to pivot without Cam Thomas for months, it seemed. They got Clowney back, and Cam Johnson missed some time. A lot of different guys, but you just saw a healthy, hungry, hustling Brooklyn Nets team go toe-to-toe with the number one team in the East, and they made you believe that they could win the game. But they had to pivot for some time in their tanking without their best player. How about Cam Thomas? He's something, huh? I bet you he cooks the Knicks. Put a pin in that one. When the Nets play the Knicks next, Cam Thomas has a thing for playing against the Knickerbockers. That should be a good one. But, yeah, the Devils tonight. How about the Devils pivoting without Jack Hughes, right? It took some time to get over it. A little bit of a losing streak. Then the Devils come out. Jesper Bratt. The Bratt man is on this team. Check your watch. It's Timo time. Timo Myers is on this team. Nico Hischier, Paul Cotter is on this team. They have other guys on the team. The Devils just had to adjust. And you know what? Jack's brother, Luke Hughes, is on the team. The Devils get a good win, and it seems like they're riding the ship, and they're not folding. They're pivoting without the face of the franchise, one of their star players. 888-808-1019. Oh, the Knicks that I was just talking about. I should have just went straight to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is down. And 2 nights ago, you saw OG Anunoby. You saw Karl Anthony Towns. You saw a different Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Miles McBride. You saw them pivot, shoot the ball, play better defense without their captain, without their leader. They did not throw in the towel. They're not waving the white flag. It's just a pivot. Okay, we don't have that guy, but we still have a team, and we still have a mission and a goal. We still have to go out and win. We're not folding. And so now we get to, late here on Tuesday night, where I think we've had enough time to process the Garrett Cole news. I knew it Friday. When I was live Friday, and my same producer who's here now broke the news about the MRIs, just said, no, because second year around, right, or second time around, second year in a row, you just knew, okay, Cole ramps up again and gets going. He's 34, and okay, it's official. Tommy John. How does the team pivot? Well, you might want to ask one eternal GM of the New York Yankees, Brian Cashman, what the Yankees are going to do. And I'll play what Meredith Marakovits got out of Cashman, and then I'll react to it, and then I'll take your calls at 888-808-1019, and we'll talk all around it. Let's play Brian Cashman talking about, with this 2 weeks left here, right? And I was looking at it like, baseball starts in a week. The Tokyo series is a week from today. Like, we're here. The teams are set. Obviously, young guys are getting sent down and rosters are getting refined. But let's hear what Cashman had to say with, about less than 2 weeks here, or just about 2 weeks here until opening day. What he can do, now that Garrett Cole is down.
2.5 weeks about until the season begins. How difficult is it at this point in time to try to pursue something outside?
Do we have the cut where he says he's prepared for the worst? I think I dragged it into that work folder if you could find it.
You look at the financial commitment. Will that at all be an issue?
Yeah, we got to play that too. I'm going to go in on that as well.
More problematic, usually not until after the draft is when things start to, really open up, where you have a much larger inventory you potentially could access outside the organization. So when, from a general manager's chair, you're always hopeful that you can avoid injury bugs to any aspect of your roster. You want to avoid them, obviously, February, March, April, May, because again, going to marketplaces is more difficult. But again, there's non-roster invites that might not make the clubs. There's waiver claims. There's a lot of different other ways to do it, and so we've gone through those processes before. Hopefully, we can run into some good things that can help us, and if not, we'll rely on what we have.
Okay, there you have it, folks. He talked about the marketplace and there, not being much that they could do, and what Cashman likes to do. Cashman likes to find DFAs. He likes to find random guys like Luke Weaver or Tim Hill or Tim Meza. He likes to find those type of guys. But I expect him to find another arm or two that can get starts. He also spoke about losing Chase Hampton, JT Brubaker getting hit in the ribs, like Luis Heel, Garrett Cole. It's not just Garrett Cole. But when you look at this rotation now, it's Max Fried, it's Carlos Rodon, it's Clark Schmidt, who pitched today. We'll talk about Clark Schmidt at some point. Marcus Stroman, who everybody wanted traded and out of here. You're going to need him, and Will Warren. You're up, young man, and I bet you we see Carlos Cookie Carrasco. So Cashman is going to do what he can, but I also know he's not going to show his hand. I know he's not going to let Meredith Moragovitz or, Yankee fans on March 11th watching the Yes Network know anything. And they're not looking to spend still. So for all the people talking about, hey, that $27 million you're getting for Garrett Cole, go out and spend it. On what? Lance Lynn? Why? There's no need to panic like that, right? There's no need to pivot and go say, let's go get one of these free agents that nobody in baseball wanted right now. Let the season start and let's see what you got. But let's hear another thing from Cashman that kind of gave me pause. I think we just have different definitions of the phrase. Go ahead and play it, Paul.
What was your initial reaction when you heard that it was indeed worst case scenario and that he was going to require Tommy John surgery?
When he left here in Tampa, I fully expected that Tommy John was coming. He went through a very successful rehab, as we all know, last year. But to have the episode to repeat itself and facing the same similar type downtime, and with all the information that Chris Ahmad had provided me and our medical team, on the ground here, the trainers and our field staff, it just felt like this is going to need more of an intervention than just a rehab. This is going to need more likely just Tommy John surgery. So at that point, I was prepared for the worst. A little slight hope maybe Eltraj would come in with a different recommendation, but that wasn't the case.
Okay, hope week continues, but prepared for the worst. When you say you're prepared for the worst as the general manager of the team, does that mean you're prepared to just be sad, or you're prepared, you have a plan? 888-808-101. Like, prepared for the worst is like, oh, I anticipated this. I have a move. I've got a bullet in the chamber. I'm ready to pull the trigger on something. I think we have two different definitions. I think prepared for the worst is just accepting that Garrett Cole is out for a year and a half, maybe more. But me, like, prepare for the worst. If it's me, if WFAN fired me tonight, I'm prepared for the worst. I know what I'm doing as soon as I get up tomorrow. I know what I'm doing next week. I know what I'm doing the months after. I'm prepared for the worst. Batman is prepared for the worst if the Justice League turns against him. Batman has a plan for a way to kill every member of the Justice League. He's got a little kryptonite tuck just in case Clark Kent feels some type of way and wants to use his super strength. That's being prepared for the worst. Being prepared for the worst and just accepting the worst is just like, it's not being prepared. That's doing nothing. 888-808-1009. That's where we'll start. Yankee fans weigh in. I know people are going to call about how much money the Yankees made last year with ticket sales and the suites. I know people are going to call about the worth of the franchise and the luxury tax and the $27 million insurance that they're getting from Garrett Cole. But what I'm getting from Brian Cashman is, hey, this is who we have. We're going to start the season and take a wait and see approach and hope that, like last year, the rotation is better than we expected. Hope that, like last year, we have a rookie of the year candidate emerge in Will Warren, like Luis Gil did. Hope that, like last year, we have a low ERA, a strong bullpen, and a lineup that can hit and win enough games where you barely miss Garrett Cole. But obviously, when you think of going for like a Sandy Alcantara or a Dylan Cease or whoever, like those moves aren't happening right now. No team is trading those guys right now. That's closer to the deadline. I did see that the deadline is July 31st, so we'll have to wait for that. And I'd rather wait for that. I understand. You wait for that, you make a move when you see what this team is. And if you feel like this team is one of the better teams in the American League and they're just another starter away because you don't want to pitch Carlos Rodon in a potential game 2, then you go get that starter at the deadline. But I still haven't forgot about Brian Cashman, Aaron Boone, and the Yankees pitching DJ LeMahieu as a third base option. And he's down. He's hurt. They still need another bat with Stanton hurt. I feel like, you could figure that out in the next 2 weeks. There's got to be some kind of hitter. Like if you brought in J.D. Davis last year in the middle of the season, like you could figure that out, right? Still not forgetting about you needing another bat in the lineup. 888-808-1019. This is Keith McPherson on the Fan till 2 a.m. Call us up. We'll be right back. All right, we're open. My bad. I had the screen too far back. Let's see. The chat going. We'll definitely talk Justin Fields later when we get to the free agency stuff and Daniel Jones and the quarterbacks. Who has a better pitching staff, Mets or Yankees? The Mets. The Mets. How are those workouts? Honestly, bro, I'm going to spring training next week. I just told my wife today, I've been so busy and not sleeping. I didn't go to the gym the last 2 days. As a matter of fact, I got to figure out, I got to do some kind of workout here tonight. I'm slacking for real. Like, I'm going to be at spring training looking like a fat ass. I'm in here watching Clark Schmidt give it up. That's a 3-run bomb to right field. Ryan Mountcastle. I didn't get to watch the game earlier. Adam, what up, yo? Keith, what's good? Monmouth County in the house. Sure thing. Plenty to talk about. Do I sit in 203 or not for opening day? I wouldn't sit there opening day. It's just too geeked up, bro. I was saying that in my rant yesterday. Like, 203 has become such a popular section that, like, the ticket prices are outrageous. And there's just a lot of, like, wannabe perpetrators over there. I mean, it is what it is. What's up, Pam? Keith, you're the best host on WFAN. I'm gonna let that hold for a minute. Depends who you ask, but it's not the first time I heard that. I appreciate it for real. Everything is subjective, right? Everything is subjective. Some people might think this is the best host on WFAN. Some people might disagree. What up, Mets Grimace Farmer Just? My boy Frosty back, and you know that. Frosty, I know I got to get back to your email, bro. I'm buried in emails. I will get to it. Yankees better roster and Mets better lineup. Sure, I'll give you that. JJ McCarthy will be the new QB for the Vikings. We're going to get there. Cash comments are so infuriating. I know the options are not great, but the Yankees need one more pitcher to remain. Yeah, he's not going to do anything just yet. They're going to rock with who they got. They're going to wait for JT Brubaker's ribs to heal up, and then he'll get going again. They'll trust what they have. They're not making a move for they're not making a move to buy a pitcher. I know that for sure. Damn, Clark got hit around, huh? Clark got hit around that first inning. Not great. Not great. Not great. Not great. Not great. Not great. Let me see. Just trying to clear the chat before we get to the calls. Can everyone please follow me? Yeah, send me a tweet. I'll follow you, bro. If you change your profile pic, I got you. Will Warren should not be pitching big time innings on a team with World Series aspirations. Well, he's gonna, and he did last year. Maybe not big time innings, but he made some starts down the stretch. He had a plan for the whole league. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about Batman. You want to talk about Batman was prepared for the worst. He had a plan for how to kill the whole Justice League just in case. What do I expect from Pete Alonso this season? I think a better season than last year. No pressure. What's good, Keith from Queens, NYC? You the best, hands down. All right, you said it. I ain't say it. You said you said it. Alvaro, what up, bro? I'm on till 2 a.m. Yeah, I'm not overnight. C-Mac does the overnight. Tio Centron is the best overnight host. He fills in. He'll be on tomorrow. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday, so I'm out. And Al will fill in. But you're a baseball with the letters PR. I'm guessing PR stands for Puerto Rico. You might have a slight lean to Al, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Like I said, I root for Al because Al came in here. Like if people think I'm a long shot to have gotten here, Al was a much longer shot, bro. So I root for him. I root for him. Keith is up there with the best. Mike, you've been rocking with me from the beginning, man. So I'm just trying to get better. I know I can always get better. I can always improve. So it takes time. It all takes time. It all takes time. I wasn't good. In my opinion, I wasn't good the first, I told somebody I wasn't good till I went on paternity leave and came back. You're fine, bro. No rush. Yeah, I'll get to it, bro. If I had a camera follow me around, like last night I left here, I went home, I had to put together a PowerPoint. I didn't go to sleep till 4 a.m. I woke up at 9:29. I got up, looked over the PowerPoint, still had typos in it, showered, got dressed, drank some coffee, ate breakfast, drove to my boy Joe's house, picked something up from Joe, drove to the high school that I spoke at today, rock with them there, drove to get lunch, drove to my chiropractor, drove home, took a quick nap. Then I took over and got my son. All right. Let's see. We're going back. So we'll come back on this one, but we're going back to the show. You're. The Yanks are out of that paper. So F my life. I'm kidding. Keith McPherson on the fan. The Yankees are not out of paper. They're not out of loot. It's okay. I lean into the internet. I just was on ranting yesterday about season's not over. If you want to jump off the bandwagon, jump off the bandwagon. Just don't expect them to do anything right now. They're not going to overreact. They're not going to show their hand. But I do trust that Cashman is thinking and working and plotting and saying, hey, we lost an ace. We need another one. We lost an ace. We need another actual guy that can pitch in the postseason. If the postseason started today, which, clearly hypothetical in March, there's so many months before we get to October, but this is what you do on Sports Talk Radio. Who's pitching game 1, 2, 3 for the Yankees? I'm in here watching Clark Schmidt right now get rocked in his first spring training start against the Orioles. Yeah, it's just spring training, but I'm not punting on a season. I'm too old for that. I don't have that many more seasons left. Kyle is in Pennsylvania. Kyle, you're first. Go for it.
And I appreciate it.
Thanks. Yeah, I kind of give him credit for pivoting and going to Max Fried is like having a little bit of a thought, like, hey, Cole missed last year. We need another guy. We didn't get Soto. Get the best pitcher on the market, and we did.
That's right. So that's my take on that little comment there on Brian Cashman. And also, I want to talk about the Knicks just real quick. What do you think about PJ Tucker? I'm not too sure. He has a 10-day contract. Would he be able to go into the playoffs with the Knicks, or is this just like a 10-day thing with PJ Tucker? Because I feel like he brings a lot. Maybe he's not playing on the court, but from last night, when he was getting the players hyped, and he was hyped every play, it seemed like. It seems like he could be a factor in the playoff, playing the game or not.
I would say a majority of 10 days are just 10 days and they expire. They're trial runs. He might just be here to check Draymond. You might just get to Saturday and have him on the court just to go nose to nose with Draymond.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And two other things real quick. I don't know if you've seen the Nets game where the Cavs came back.
I did.
I thought the Nets had it in the back.
I knew they didn't. That was like OKC, the OKC game.
And the Bucks, that came down to the wire. I think the Bucks were down like 5 or something with like 20 seconds left. And they took the lead, and then the Pacers got a 4-point play to win the game. I don't know if you've seen that, or heard about that.
No, I don't watch the Farmers play too much. Thanks for the call, Kyle. 888-808-1019. I definitely don't like to watch Giannis. Giannis is like my least favorite player to watch. I can't stand his game. Bull in a China shop. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Giannis, and I didn't see that game. I see the score, though. 115-114. Pacers win. That might be your 4 or 5 matchup in these NBA playoffs coming soon. Big East tournament coming soon. We'll talk about that. We'll talk basketball. Let's stay on the baseball stuff. Let's stay on Brian Cashman. Let's stay on being prepared for the worst. Let's stay on the options that the Yankees have. Let's stay on. This is it, man. Wait and see approach. How does that make you feel? What are your thoughts? Would you sign a guy like Lance Lynn? I don't think so. I think you're going to see Cashman do what he does. He always has these Cashman finds. There's going to be some guy that we're not thinking of that gets DFA'd, that gets cut this week, and the Yankees bring him in. Might be a veteran name, might be a young guy, and I expect them to be working on that. Mordecai is in Passaic on the Fan. What's up, bro?
Steve, thanks for coming to my school today.
Yeah, man, that was so much fun. Thanks for having me. Was it cool? Did you guys talk about it after? What's one thing that you remembered or you took from the presentation I did at the school today?
The whole thing, like we were talking about, like your childhood, how like you said, like you just came down from like nothing and you built yourself up, go work for W at the end.
Yeah, you could do it, man. If I could do it, anybody could do it. It's a long road, but if you believe in yourself, trust in God, anything is possible. Thanks for calling. You said you would, right? So what do you got for us tonight? What are you thinking?
Do you think Will Warren could have the same impact as Luis Gil?
I do. I definitely do because, Luis Gil last year came out of nowhere. He was coming off of Tommy John. We saw him 2 seasons before, and he looked like he had some type of way about him. But there was no way we expected him to be Rookie of the Year. No way we expected him to break El Duque's rookie strikeout record in a game. I actually called that game. Will Warren has looked better in camp. Everybody talks about him having nasty stuff. And I think the experience that he had last year in those starts, they didn't go his way. I think it's good to get that stuff out of the way. And now he's thrust in. And there was people, I think I listened to Big Mac saying get Marcus Stroman out of here and put Will Warren in the rotation. Well, be careful what you wish for. He's in the rotation and Marcus Stroman is still here. So let's see it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, man. 888-808-1019. So, yeah, I'm on a little bit of a speaking tour, going to high schools. And, I do this just anyway, like not in high schools, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram or emails, any young guys that reach out that want advice or tips or, just have questions about the industry or college or what I did after college. I just try to share, inspire or retire and, try and help the next person out. So today I went to the Torah Academy of Bergen County in Hackensack or Teaneck rather. And it was it was a good time. I think I had more fun than everybody because I got to stand up and present a PowerPoint and, you know, talk about my life from high school to, you know, a bunch of high schoolers, my life from high school to college to after college to making it on WFAN. And then we played a little bit of a game, a game of categories, and it was all baseball questions and related. And I'm usually terrible at trivia. I'm usually not good at that type of stuff. But I was able to beat them kids. I was able to beat all the kids. So shout out to the young guys that I was with today. The YouTube video will come out in a week or so, maybe after I come back from spring training. 888-808-1019. Jacob is in Fairhaven on the Fan in New York.
Hey, Chief. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Really appreciate you having me on. Just wanted to talk about Cashman's approach to everything, like you were saying. Really agree with a lot of the points you were making. You know, it probably makes sense for them to kind of wait this period out, wait and see how everything goes down in the early season. But I want to also ask you about, you know, obviously we signed Max Fried in this off season, and Cashman seems to have a history of signing these big name guys for really big contracts. And I don't know if it's Cashman or if it's just our luck, but we always just seems that they don't pan out, or not necessarily that they don't pan out, but that they don't.
Most of these big contracts don't pan out. Most of these big contracts don't work. In baseball, you get paid for what you've done, not what you're going to do. And to get these guys, you have to overextend. I was screaming when they said 8 years for Max Fried. I'm like, 8 years? But when I heard that the Red Sox and the Blue Jays were in on him, I'm like, that's what they had to do to play keep away from division rivals. And it is some bad luck. Maybe it's a curse on the Yankees. I don't know. I know what you're thinking. Jacoby Ellsbury. You know, I know what you're thinking. Look at Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole's contract. Look where we're at right now. We're about to, like, it's crazy. Garrett Cole's about to miss this whole year and probably most of next year. And there's no guarantee that he comes back at age 36 and is we don't know what he's going to be. We can hope.
Of course.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Fingers crossed. Let's hope we have some young talent develop and they make some moves to get some talented young starting pitcher from elsewhere. Thanks for the call, bro. 888-808-1019. I don't know. Is it luck or is it bad luck? Is it just the Yankees? It's everybody. These long contracts don't always work out. You know, the only one that's guaranteed to work out, no risk at all, is Juan Soto. You know, 15 years of Juan Soto, probably 2 to 4 World Series wins, couple MVPs, all-star every single year, maybe 3 or 4 Gold Gloves in right field. 15 years of Juan Soto, worth every single penny. Don't have to worry about that. But the rest of these big contracts in baseball, yeah, they're risky. And you take those risks hoping to win one time. And unfortunately here, you sign Max Fried to pair with Garrett Cole, thinking that, hey, we can get back to the World Series, overpay him. We're in a win now window. The American League is weak. And if we get into a series again with the Dodgers, at least we have this 1-2 punch of Cole and Fried. Well, plans change. The best laid plans of mice and men, like, they'll pivot at some point. I don't know when, before the deadline. It's just not now. You know, Brian Cashman said very little is available in the pitching marketplace at this time of year, said the Yankees will rely on what we have while exploring outside opportunities. Luxury tax penalties make it less likely they will add from outside. And I get it. Why would you pay a luxury tax penalty for Lance Lynn? Lance Lynn was on this team. Lance Lynn just throws fastballs. Lance Lynn is older. I'd rather see a young guy, a random. What's on your head, bro? What is that? You all right? Okay. Is it a Band-Aid? And it's just I don't know. It's not Ash Wednesday. I'm like, what is this on your forehead, bro? You all right? Now you got to speak. Now you got to.
Was that I also think Cashman might be thinking that, like, is it worth it for the Yankees as a business to just throw
It's not to him.
contract?
No.
And if he doesn't think that it's worth it for a specific player, if he doesn't think that player is going to put them over the top, then why is he going to waste Hal's money?
I mean, it might as well be his money. He's not doing it. I know that he's not doing it. I know that they're not going to panic. I know that they're not going to do a move to appease fans right now, and that's fine. It is what it is. Joel Sherman reported the MLB trade deadline will be the traditional July 31st at 6 p.m. this year. In last CBA, commissioner's office has the right to move it around, and it was, for example, July 30th last year, August 1st in 2023. So another thing with Cashman, you know he loves to wait until that buzzer sounds. So we might not get our next ace of this rotation or our game 2 starter in this rotation until 5:30 p.m. on July 31st. So buckle in and strap into the roller coaster ride and prepare for that. It could get bumpy. It could get a little rocky. Gary and Waterbury back on the fan. Go for it, bro.
The Cavalier.
You're
Yeah. And the AL is so whack. They're going to have to prove everything before they can do it, before that we can do it. We've been there before. We'll always be there. And I'm not shedding no tears for Garrett Cole. And, Judge is a beast. Judge can carry a team. Judge can carry any team
seen it
to the finish line.
Well, maybe not. I don't. Well, he can carry the team, but not which finish line. Maybe right before the finish line, we drop pop-ups and strike out.
We haven't been there in a minute. We have not.
But no, it's a great point, Gary. I look at the captain, Aaron Judge, and I say more pressure on you, right? And whose quote was "Pressure is a privilege." Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole down. It's on you, Judge. You can't have a slow start. You can't slump. You got to hit. You got to carry.
Exactly. You're going to let me do some Giants. I want the Giants to draft a QB.
Have to.
Let them start the whole way. We got nothing to lose. The division.
You got a lot of games to lose. You got a head coach and a GM to lose.
But we can't win the division. Philly, Washington, even Dallas, they're way better than us. I just draft a rookie QB, let him get his lumps.
Yeah, but you can ruin a guy that way. You know that, right? Like if you have a rookie QB on a 4th place team, getting his ass kicked a whole season, that could be it. He could never actually materialize. He could be, you could stunt his growth. He could be, just.
Right. Well, we got to take the risk because you never know. Jaden Daniels did it.
Yeah, but that's different.
He does.
Jaden Daniels is a Heisman Trophy winner. Jaden Daniels came into a situation where, they had talent around him. They made moves, and it was a complete new regime, new head coach, new owner, new GM. People act like Jaden Daniels did that himself. He came into a situation that was available for him to, succeed. And he did it, but it wasn't like he did it alone. He had Terry McLaurin to throw the ball to. He had Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler in the backfield. Their offensive line wasn't bad. They added Zach Ertz. They had people on defense. They had some players. They drafted well too, outside of just Jaden Daniels. So you have to hit on a lot of things around the quarterback. And if the quarterback is good, then you'll succeed. Thanks for the call, Gary. 888-808-1019. I don't think anybody had them going from picking number 2 overall to the NFC Championship. I give Jaden Daniels a ton of credit. Yeah, he made a lot of plays and carried that offense for the most part, but he wasn't alone. There were veterans around him, good coaches, and just a good, healthy organization that was ready for a quarterback. I don't look at the Giants as a good, healthy organization that's just ready for a quarterback to start game 1, week 1, and definitely not have that kind of success. Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, nah. 888-808-1019. John is in Bayonne. We're still talking Yankees on the fan.
Of course, Keith. What else are we going to talk about?
The Giants and start the I don't know. We'll get there.
Well, listen, it's got a week and a half when we start the season. But it's deja vu. Last year, the same thing happened. He'll be a fine. I think so. I mean, better than Rodon last year.
Yes.
All right, what came out? Then my man Will Warren turns out to be the freak of because they said he's got the same mechanics as Michael King. We'll see what he does. Listen, we don't have to panic. We're the New York Yankees. Okay, we win.
Yep.
Okay, when our backs against the wall, everybody, oh, there goes the season. Cole's down. Oh, Judge is down. This one's down. What do we keep on doing?
Next man up. Somebody will rise up. They're not going to fold. The fans aren't going to fold. That place is going to be packed. It's going to be loud. We're going to will them to wins. I don't care who's out there.
Well, you look at it this year. I mean, you got Goldschmidt at first. You got Jazz at second. Volpe at short. And we had the same thing last year with who's third base? I don't know.
It's going to be Cabrera. It's going to be Oswaldo Cabrera. And I hope that he takes a step forward.
I think so too. Again, the outfield, I'm still saying get Dominguez out of the left, put Bellinger there.
No, they're going to learn the hard way. They're going to learn. They might, ball will find you. Like they might learn the hard way. Like Dominguez might embarrass himself in left field on national television, Yankee Stadium opening day, whether it's a ball dropping in fair territory to his right or whether he's chasing a ball to the left that he can't get to. The Yankees are going to leave him there in left field. I 2 weeks ago, I was saying, please, when Trent Grisham comes back, get him some reps in left field. Can we at least see Dominguez in center field so that we can stop seeing bloopers? There was another one today, and it's like they don't care. They want him to be a left fielder so they can just leave him there. The player that they're willing to move around the outfield is Cody Bellinger. They're not willing to move Trent Grisham.
Right. And when it comes down to it, though, Bernie Williams is saying, yeah, he's got talent, but he's got to learn, and it's hard. I said it the last time.
It is hard, but they're looking at him, John, and they're saying you're athletic, you're fast, you're strong, you're young. Figure it out. This is the pros. And I'm looking at him saying he came up playing center field. And if people are reporting that he's not good at either position, then that's not good. But I want to see it at least. Can I see it in spring training before these games are done? Can I see the kid make some plays in center field? Maybe, at the least, it'll just boost his confidence that, hey, I can catch the ball. I can make some plays and then put him back in left.
And when it comes down to it, you had Jeter come up, shortstop. Okay? You had Bernie Williams come up, center field. They didn't play with their positions. This is what they were told to be. This is what they were brought up to be. And that's what they stayed to be. And that's taken a lot of pressure on this guy mentally because he has to learn a new position, but he wants to be at the plate, hit the lefty and righty, and he can't concentrate because you're worried about the outfield where the ball's flying out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him, John. He's 22 years old. He changed his jersey number from 89 to 24. Like he's ready to be this number one prospect, but I'm sure he's got a ton of thoughts in his head. Like you said, switch hitting. I don't think they're going to ask him to lead off, but they're going to make him play left field. And he hasn't had a confident, spring training in left field. There's still some things to learn. And I was saying it when we got to February 27th, I was on the fan saying we're a month out. He cannot learn how to play left field in a month. Thanks for the call, John. 888-808-1019. But this is what the Yankees do. There's a such thing called Yankees arrogance. There's a such thing as the Yankees leading the league and playing guys out of position. They just think that they can put Rougned Odor at third base. They just think that Gleyber Torres can be a shortstop. They just think that they can throw IKF in center field left. I don't know why. I don't know what analytics, what what computer tells them that, oh, it'll work fine. Yeah, trade for Jazz. He'll play third base if Gleyber doesn't want to. But they are willing to go out there and risk it and try it. And they're about to do it again. Dominguez is going to be in left field. I'm done trying to, bang the table for him to be in center field. They're not doing it. They have Bellinger, they have Trent Grisham, and they have some weird allegiance to Trent Grisham that he's only a left fielder. I tell his ass, get some reps in left field. That's what we need you to do on this team for the $5.5 million, $6 million. And Dominguez, our future, right? A guy that you passed on trading for years. We need him to get comfortable in center field because when Belly's gone, when Grisham's gone, this guy's going to be the center fielder of the future. But what the hell do I know? I'm on the radio at 10:45 at night on the fan, talking to fans, talking to people online. Keith McPherson, KM to 2 a.m. We got to take a break. When we come back, who's starting on opening day in the Bronx? Do we know that answer? I have an answer. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. I'm going to hit that chat and we'll go back to where we were. All right, gang. Right here is where we were at talking about the Giants before. Giants better not sign Russ or Rodgers. Give me Milton or Jameis. We'll see. There's some things here. We'll get to it. I'm going to talk about it. Once we get in the 11 o'clock hour, I'll start doing my glasses crooked. Once we start the 11 o'clock hour, we'll start talking about the Giants. Like, takes two to tango. They can't just trade for Joe Milton. They could, but they got to give up a lot, and they're not in a position to give up a lot. Can't wait for baseball season to start. Me too. That's why I can't be sad about Garrett Cole. I'm too hyped for this. Are the phones busy right now? Yes. Oh, listen, my promo.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York. Sports are following.
Yo, ESPN, run me the money Friday. I need that in my check, bruh. Run me the money for that. ESPN Bet, Penn Gaming. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, the phones are busy. Phones are packed. I'm blessed in the regard of, like, I get on. I never worry about there not being calls. When I get on, people are usually, it's like people are either tweeting me or, just like you said, or the phone line's busy. Yeah. People are calling. Shout out to my boy Gabe working. Let me know how I can help with whatever tech difficulties. Keith, you there? Yeah, I'm here. But the thing is, right now during the breaks, the radio commercial breaks, I'm here. But when we go back to the radio, this radio is broadcast all over New York City, Connecticut, Jersey, parts of Pennsylvania. I heard you could even hear it in Maine. And then it's also on the free Odyssey app. So I have to be locked in on the radio. I can't interact with the chat as much. Do you think Trevor Bauer has a real chance to get back in the league? No. Slow and steady wins the race. Mike knows. Mike's seen a bunch of seasons. You know it, Mike. Like, I'm in it for the long haul. Cashman knew these injuries and hasn't done anything, bro. Technically, he has. Like, that's why I gave him credit for the Max Fried signing. Like, you pivot from not getting Soto and you go get the best pitcher on the market with that money. It kind of just tells me you were preparing for Cole to potentially be down. Cashman needs more pitching since Cole is out for the whole season. We know. Lighthouse 45 hundo. Appreciate you, bro. Keith, you going to the Mets-Yankees game? Want to meet you. I bet I'll be there. One of my boys just hit me about the Saturday game. I'm like, I'll probably be at Friday and Saturday. Do the Yankees think they have more player options in center field after Bellinger contract is up? Why is Dominguez forced in left field? Because, and this is the logic, they want to be able to leave him there when they rest Judge, DH Judge, put Trent Grisham in center field, put Bellinger in right field. They prefer to have the best defense up the middle. So it tells you that they don't trust Dominguez center field defense either. Please give me a shout out. My name is Shlomo Friedman. I'm the biggest fan of your show. You might have some competition for that, bro. You might have some competition for that. Clay Holmes. I don't want to talk down on Clay Holmes. But it's spring training. He has transitioned great. He looks like he's been a starter in Major League Baseball for years. But it's spring training. Like he's striking out. I don't know. I don't want to talk down on him because then I'm gonna sound like a hater. But for what the Mets paid for him, it has potential to be steal of the offseason. Can he have a Sean Manaea type season? Maybe. When was the last time you hit up Nelly's? That was my spot for years, Monmouth County represent. So I haven't been there in a minute, but I did go to Talercio's and we made a fat sandwich. If you look on my Instagram, you look on my TikTok, Eric and I made a fat sandwich kind of inspired by Nelly's, both of us being Monmouth grads. I used to be there on the late night, faded, long time ago. Okay, let's get it, man. 888-808-1019. We're talking about the Yankees. We're talking about the rotation, the pitching depth or lack thereof, and Brian Cashman basically having a wait and see approach as we're this close to the season. And he was prepared for the worst, meaning he was prepared for Cole to be out and, them to just go with what they have. They're not going to sign anyone because of the luxury tax. They're not going to do anything crazy, anything to show their hand. If something happens, it'll be, somebody getting cut, DFA'd, let go by another team, and the Yankees scooping them up. And I expect that to happen. That's more of Cashman's style. Before we went to break, I said, who's going to start opening day? Marcus Stroman. Back-to-back years for the Long Island kid, wearing the Nueva New York, the Nueva York Silky. He's got the New York do-rag under his Yankee cap. I don't know has he been wearing the do-rag under his cap? I don't know if he's wearing it in spring training, but he might wear it for opening day again. There was a tweet from my guy Brian Hoke, the Hokey Pokey. I gotta hit Hoke to see when I can bring him on the fan. Maybe after spring training, because I don't have any. I have another Sunday show coming up this week, but I'm not on. Like I'd rather bring guests on early. Like I'm not asking anybody to come on at 11 p.m. But I'll hit Hoke. I'll have Hoke come on after, maybe leading up to opening day. But Hoke put out, Aaron Boone said it might not line up for Max Fried to be the opening day starter just because of when Garrett Cole went down and how everyone is slotted. He said, we'll continue to work through this with an announcement expected in the next few days. Well, you don't have Nestor Cortez, who, shout out to Nasty Nestor, he was down for whatever. I do not want Carlos Rodon starting on opening day. The vibes would just be lame, bro. If they're not already lame. I just do not want Rodon to get that ball. Clark Schmidt, as I'm, watching Clark Schmidt right now, I don't know. Like opening day, if opening day can't, I don't know. Maybe it's Stroman. I vote Stroman. Just back-to-back days for the New York kid that wanted to be a Yankee, a guy that said he was working on staying present and grounded. As folks were talking about trading him, as folks were talking about, oh, he's worn out his welcome. Why isn't he in camp? What's he doing? I hate this guy. You might see Marcus Stroman take the ball again, depending on how he's slotted, how he's lined up in his preparation to pitch on Thursday, March 27th. This is coming up fast. 888-808-1019. Bob is in Woodmere on the fan. Hello, Bob. Good, man. Hanging out.
I'm just curious. You keep saying, like last night and tonight, how you're pushing through, you're too old, you don't got many seasons left, you don't think the Yankees are going to make any switches. Let's say, just like out of nowhere, Cole got injured. Let's say Judge gets injured. And
why would we say that? Why would we say that?
I want to know what would the Yankees do then? Because the same way Cole came out of nowhere.
Then we forfeit the season, Bob. 888-808-1019. Well, thanks for the call. Why are we doing that? Why we just lost Cole, bro? Why would you play like that? Why do we have to hypothetically lose our starting MVP right fielder and our promising shortstop that we literally need to turn into a major league hitter this year? No. How about no one else gets hurt the rest of the year? We have Stanton down. We have Luis Heel down. Why do we have to talk about potential? I don't even like putting that negative energy out into the universe. There's no need. John is in Sussex County. John, you're on the fan. Sorry.
Hey, what's up, Steve? First-time caller, long-time listener. One of the names me and my friends were floating around for trading for was Sandy Alcantara. What do you think of him?
Yeah, he's coming back. The Marlins don't want to spend any money. They're never going to pay him. I'd love to see that go down. I don't think it goes down, but if it does, maybe it's right before the deadline.
That's what I was thinking, too, because it's obviously not going to be right before the season starts.
I'll keep a close eye on him. Thanks for the call. I'll keep a close eye on him when he's facing that Mets lineup. And if he's mowing down the Mets, I'm going to text Cashman like, bro, get it done. Get it done. Micah is in Inglewood on the fan before we get to the next break and update. Micah, you're live. Go for it.
Hey, Steve. So first I just want to thank you for coming to my school today. It was very good listening to you and your journey to WFM.
not a bad day of school, right? I guess I came through and just made the school day a little faster. And thank you guys. It was more fun for me. Getting to do that is a dream come true. Like motivational speaking, giving back, that type of stuff, and letting you guys get to know me a little more than what you can on the radio. So again, I appreciate you guys for reaching out and bringing me in. What you got for us tonight?
I want to talk about Kodai Senga and the Mets pitcher rotation. Besides the fact that Minaya got injured and with Montas, Senga's 2023 season was really good. Like, he put up a 2.98 ERA over like 165 innings. Like, even just him as a pitcher, he finished 7th in Rookie of the Year. 7th in Cy Young, 2nd in Rookie of the Year. Like, he was really good just himself. And losing Minaya and Montas just makes him so much more valuable to his Mets team going into the season. So I want to help him understand how important Kodai Senga is going to be for his Mets team.
Oh, he's very important. Thanks for the call, Mike. I'll say this about Goes Fork. Maybe we'll come back and we'll play Yusuke Kamiji and the new hit single Goes Fork for Kodai Senga. I guess he's got to warm up to that song with the like LED lights flickering at Citi Field. I mean, Kodai Senga was an all-star. Kodai Senga was the guy that you missed last year, and he was gone for a while. He came back. He was gone again, and he came back in the postseason. He can be dirty. He can be filthy. And at the top of that rotation, with Minaya out for some time, with Montas out, with Clay Holmes transitioning, David Peterson, I think, is going to be solid. But Kodai Senga is paid to be the guy. We had some issues with his, rest as far as like 6 days or whatever. But, I think he can be nasty. If he is nasty at the top of the Mets rotation paired with that lineup and them hitting, then you're in good shape. If he is sketchy, if he is not what we the best of him, what we expect him to be, then it might be a long season. Like, he didn't pitch at all last year. So like, you really need him to put it together. And there's a lot riding on Kodai Senga. Maybe we'll get that Ghost Fork song queued up. That's the new OMG. 888-808-1019, 1 hour down, 3 hours to go. KM to 2 a.m. returns right after this. Ghost Fork. They got that Ghost Fork on YouTube, that new song from Yusuke. Yusuke. If you type that in Ghost Fork, I'm sure it'll come up. I think that's where we were, right? Oh no, we were at the Nelly's comment before I left the chat. All right, Cody is an absolute stud defensively in center field or at first base or right field or left field. That versatility is going to be great, but like I know they're going to let him hear it. Dominguez in left field as soon as he botches one. Do you think Vientos is going to have a good season? It's always hard to hit in your second season in MLB. Yep, and right now, look, I just saw the Dominguez play. 3rd inning. And the pitcher kind of shows him up. Because he was, there's no way he was getting to that ball. 1, he was lined up too far. 2, he wasn't sprinting. He wasn't running to that ball. And like the pitcher, like, he didn't mean to show him up, but he kind of gave him a look like, WTF, bro? Like, why are you not trying to make that play for me? I'm out here fighting for my career. Like, I need that out. That ball hung up long enough. You can't get that. So another one for Dominguez. Let me see here. I'm going to bring that up when we come back too. Jeff Hartlieb seems frustrated with Dominguez after that. All right, let me also clear the chat before we get to the update. Mets are coming in hot. Hell yeah, you know how it is. It's a Mets town, baby. Cole goes down. Juan Soto's homering. Mets are number 1. I'm in Middletown, not far from Talercio's. I love all their food. Their place is ridiculous, bro. Like the food that comes out of it, nothing is bad. And Eric shows me love. Like I'll go in there and order a sandwich. He's like, take home some chicken parm. You want some fried wraps? You need some bread? I'm like, bro. It was like, feed your family. I got you, bro. Your family. Hey, Keith, met you at the World Series party at Billy's. Thoughts on getting another starting pitcher outfielder with all these injuries? They're not getting anybody. If they do, it's going to be somebody that gets DFA. It's going to be one of these. You're going to just see that one line update. It's not going to be big news. They already told you today. This is what told you everything. Let me find this right here, bro. Right here, bro. And I'm not surprised. They're too close. Like they don't care. They don't care to make a reactionary move. No, not this. Where's the wrong screenshot? I'll read it. Like nobody wants to hear about the luxury tax, but they're going to remind you that they're not going over the luxury tax. But they're over the luxury tax. They're not going any further over it. Brian Cashman said very little is available in the pitching marketplace at this time of year. Said the Yankees will rely on what we have while exploring outside opportunities. Luxury tax penalties make it less likely that they will add from outside. So, no, they're not about to go buy anybody. They're not about to bring anybody in. And why would they? The rest of baseball didn't move on these guys. Like, the Yankees aren't going to react. There is no Trevor Bauer signing. They don't want Lance Lynn. Who else is out there? Kyle Gibson or some other name somebody told me recently. And I'm like, no, they're not moving the needle, bro. Those aren't factors. Zion, what up? KM to the AM. KM to 2 a.m. tonight. Yeah, I know. You don't have to correct Billy's with a Y. I know what you meant. You spelled it like Billie Eilish. Felt like the depth with Stanton and Cole gone could get dirty, need something. Yeah, but like, I'm not surprised. Stanton is always hurt, and Cole was hurt this time last year. So it's not like the most surprising, and not like the most surprising is that it's.
She's new. She just did tape.
It's those two and Heel.
2 weeks ago on tape, and now she's already working on board. We did that with I think Liam.
They're moving people along fast.
Because I think we're just short.
Mm-hmm. Is Stanton out for the season? I am proceeding like he is. Yeah, I disagree because like Montas will be back, Mania will be back, and the Mets right now have major league caliber pitchers fighting for their 5th spot in the rotation. Say what you want about Paul Blackburn. Say what you want about Griffin Canning and Tyler McGill. They all have years of experience in Major League Baseball. Yo, Chris, let's go. Throwing money.
You sleep for 5 hours and you're delusional. Good evening at 11 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Giants continue to wait on pins and needles to see if Aaron Rodgers wants to come on board or if they got to pivot to the likes of Russell Wilson. Reports are not the money that Rodgers deciding between the Steelers and the Giants. Unclear if the Vikings even want in on the Rodgers market. Now we'll see if the moves the Giants have made can sway Rodgers to town, including the addition of safety Javon Holland, 3 years, $45 million. Brian Cashman spoke for the first time since the news of losing Garrett Cole for the season with Tommy John surgery. Cash explained why there's a few less options right now than years past, courtesy of Yes. Another missed opportunity for the Rangers. They'll fell to the Jets 2-1, 4th straight loss. They remain 2 points back in the final wild card. Islanders and Kings, they're scoreless, 4:27 left in the first period. Ilya Sorokin with 13 saves already. Devils snapped a 3-game skid, erased the Blue Jackets 5-3. Jesper Bratt, a goal, couple of assists. And the Cavs pushed their win streak to 15, topped the Nets 109-104. Darius Garland 30, Cam Thomas led Brooklyn with 27. 54 degrees, clear skies, Central Park, and that's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
You got the ghost fork? Oh, we're about to rock. What the hell was that? A Band-Aid? And I know you're Jewish. At the time, I'm like, I recently saw the Ash Wednesday less than a week ago. Right. Let's go, Mets. LGM. Let's go, Mets. Grimace. Timmy Trumpet. Seymour Wiener. Rally Pimp. Playoff Pumpkin. Oh, I can't wait to go to Citi Field this year. It's going to be jumping. Queen's Best Dance Crew. They can be pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and drop it. 888-808-1019. Talking baseball, talking about the Yanks. During the commercial break, I'm watching Yankees Encore, and I like that they have the bug back that says Encore. I feel like growing up, it was always Yankees Encore when they had the replay. Then for a while, they didn't have that. I don't know. It gives us some nostalgia. Anyway, third inning, we saw the play where Dominguez, one, was not lined up correctly in left field, or maybe he was lined up correctly. Who knows? The scouting report of spring training. I didn't even know it was up at the plate, but he was lined up so far away from the foul line, and then he was not hustling. And that clip has gone viral a little bit because the pitcher kind of showed him up. He didn't mean to show him up, Jeff Hartlieb, but he puts his hands out like, come on, bro. That ball hung in the air and bounced in fair territory. If Dominguez was lined up better, even if he was just running, he wasn't running. This is a guy that just showed you he can run 30 miles an hour to first base. So when he doesn't run and make that play, the pitcher's like, come on. But I'm looking at the pitcher like, you come on, bro. You've been in camp. You know Dominguez is learning. You know this is going to be a journey. You know this is going to be adventures with Dominguez in left field all year. And yeah, you know, Yankee fans are rootless. Like I was at that game. A lot of people were. Derek Jeter, Hall of Fame ceremony night where Hicks didn't play that ball right. Like Yankee fans are going to boo Dominguez in left field. They're not going to make it easy for him. Some of them won't even know who he is. And if he doesn't make the play, boo. So, yep, get ready for that as well. That's like the least of our issues right now. There's a lot of other fish to fry. But, yeah, Dominguez in left field, it is just an adventure. And I told you on February 27th when I got on, like, he's not going to be able to just figure it out in a month. You can have all these reps. You can have Bernie Williams out there talking to him. You can whatever. Put Trent Grisham there, right? Trent Grisham runs like a gazelle and makes it so easy looking like, put Trent Grisham in left field. They won't. They won't. What do I know? And you know what? Cashman spoke on it too. And I don't know if we have the clip, but we don't need the clip. Cashman said, like, that's the lane for him. And they hope that he takes it. And it's like, stop creating lanes. Stop creating lanes for people and saying, well, Jazz, here's your lane. It's third base.
Already, if we might lose Stanton, this might be a trial and error year to see.
Hell no. All right, you gotta cut the mic. What you think, Brian Cashman, the GM? There is no trial and error year. There is no no. You gotta win. They just made the most money they ever made going to the World Series. The American League is quote unquote weak. They got to get back. There is no trial and error. They gotta win, bro. They have to win. Roscoe is in Brooklyn. What's up, bro? You're back on the Fan.
I don't know who you're talking to, but
Paulie, that's such a Mets fan thing, right? They came into the season last year like trial and error. Oh, this is an evaluation year. The Yankees don't have evaluation years.
yo, man, give them a cookie, man. They got homeboy. Yo, man, we good. Like, stop, like, I just feel like the whole thing. You're the only one I can really listen to now, man. Cause it's like everything is. Don't worry about us, man. This is the year Cashman got to show up. Now, real quick, Keith. When I say Cashman got to show up, like you got to pull this one off.
Yeah, this better be. I said last year was supposed to be his magnum opus at the deadline, and he gave us Jazz and Mark Leiter Jr. All right, This better be masterful. Go get everybody at this deadline. Houdini, Magic.
What I'm saying is it that the organization doesn't take care of their players in the off season? Because we always I know every team has injuries, but I feel like Cole, I feel like he was hurt last year and he gave his all. I get it. I feel like, come on, man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And say he's gonna come next year. Right? You know what I mean? I think
It's gonna be a while. He might not be back till we might see him in September of 2026, bro. We're off that for a while.
Can't we start doing what the Dodgers is doing with the deferral? Is it because I feel like ain't no state taxes, correct?
It's not because of that. I'll speak on it. Thanks for the call, Roscoe. It's not because of the tax. But what you were saying about, I heard people saying that, fire the strength and conditioning team, fire the medical staff. They did that. They did that after the 2019 Next Man Up season when everybody was hurt, where Mike Tauchman and Mike Ford were playing. You know what I'm saying? When Breivik Valera was out there, when Cameron Maben was playing, when Gio Urshela emerged, they did that. It's not that. It's not that. I think after the season, they let these guys think about it. Halloween happens. Okay. Baseball is over. They let these guys go home November, Thanksgiving, December, Christmas. A lot of them do report to the facility in Tampa after the new year, like January, first week of January. But for the most part, they leave these guys alone. They're grown men. And that's why I said, Stanton is immune to criticism because of the performance that he put on in the postseason again. But I am disappointed in a 35-year-old veteran making $32 million, not reporting that, hey, I was hurt at the end of the season. I need this checked out. Because if Stanton would have got the surgery November, December, January, he'd be on the mend right now to come back. I just think it's inevitable for him to get this surgery. I think at some point, I don't expect him to just get in a hyperbaric chamber and or sleep it off, or it's just, there's no magic. What's he gonna have, a sensu bean? He's not gonna just magically get his elbows back. So he's gonna try and ramp up after rest, and they're gonna get surgery, and he's gonna be shut down for the year. So and then can't we just do what the Dodgers do? No one in baseball can. You can defer some contracts. The Mets have deferred contracts, but I think I heard the Yankee. I think Hal said something along the lines of not being able to do what the Dodgers do and not wanting to. They don't want to be paying players that aren't on the team 10 years from now. And the reason that the Dodgers can do all of that, it's not the taxes in California. It's because of the Guggenheim partners, the people that own the team. Just go to your handy dandy search engine and type in Guggenheim baseball, Guggenheim partners, Guggenheim, and read a little bit about the banks and the PE firms and how they're able to do all. This is what they do: investing, banking, deferring money, getting a return on investment. They have it all figured out. Rick is in Morristown, New Jersey. Rick, you're next on the Fan. Go for it.
Hey man, I congratulated to the luxury tax threshold. I see here that this year it's going to be $241 million. I always thought the Yankees had payrolls around $300 million.
Yeah, I thought the luxury tax was $301 million, and the Yankees are at $307, $308, so they're just above it. Okay, it is. 2025 luxury tax threshold is $241 million, and
okay, and what is it? 1.5 times the cost for players?
Yeah, 110% on the dollar. Either way,
It's a lot of money, but I just don't understand. How come the escalators haven't gone up higher? I know that they bargained this back in 2022. Why isn't it higher or based on inflation? We've got some really crazy numbers over the last couple of years. It should be much higher.
I don't know. It's to me, it's just at the end of the day, they have it. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a penalty.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then I'm reading here that the commissioner of baseball has discretion of excess funds left over that aren't distributed to retirement funds and et cetera.
Yeah, Major League Baseball made over $12 billion last year. Supposedly they're up 33%. I don't know, man. I don't trust any of them. From the lockout to now, where they wouldn't show their books, and I just think they all have a ton of money and they don't want to spend it because they want to have money, as most people are like that. But they're businesses, they're franchises. They're supposed to be putting it back into the team. They're supposed to be spending it on players, but majority of the league doesn't. The Mets do, the Yankees do, the Dodgers do. The rest of these teams, their payrolls are way low.
I know, it's like welfare for billionaires. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes sense as far as them being greedy and not wanting to spend the money. And we can't even call it greed. It's them making a profit and saying no, we don't have to spend all of this money to field the team. We don't have to go out there and buy the most expensive players. We just need to have a roster and a couple good players.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Yankees should really be taking on Nolan Arenado. I think he'd be a great player for them. And, if Goldschmidt has a good year, I mean, they would basically cancel out Stanton's loss. You know what I mean?
In theory, but you also have the loss to Soto. Thanks for the call, Rick. 888-808-1019. I'm looking at an article right here, luxury tax breakdown. This is from Sports Illustrated. Mets 2025 payroll hits $320 million. This is on February 8th. Luxury tax penalty climbs to $79 million. Let me keep going. The 2025 luxury tax threshold is $241 million, meaning the Mets are about $79 million over the limit. And then when you go down, as a team exceeding the highest penalty tier, 290. So that's the thing. There's tiers. $297 million. The Mets are subject to a surcharge of 110% on every dollar spent beyond that break point. But Steve Cohen doesn't care. He's well over it now. I think he's at 333 now. I don't know. The way I look at it is if you have holes and you have needs and you're putting a self-imposed tax, it's not a salary cap sport and it's not that much money. I understand if you go out and add a Juan Soto who's making $50 million, over $50 million, that is a lot if you're already there, but the Yankees are not. The Yankees are under. The Yankees pivoted. The money that the Yankees were going to pay Juan Soto, which was not 51 either, was 47.5. They pivoted and stayed right there. So I don't know, man. I'm over talking about it. Hal came out and told you we're at 308 million, and we don't feel like spending the most money correlates with having the best team, or we don't have to spend more money to have a winning team, a championship caliber team, and that you have to have a mix of young players and developed players. And to me, I don't want to hear it, because you just lost to the Dodgers, who went out and gave Ohtani that contract and spent $1 billion. Yeah, they deferred it, but they went out and spent the money last offseason a year ago, and it turned into them winning the World Series. And then they won the World Series. They mocked you. And then again, they went out and spent more money, got even better, and they're in prime position to go back-to-back and knock you off as the last team to go back-to-back. I don't know. I would want to do something about that. And I'd say the money doesn't matter, because we just went to the World Series and made a franchise record amount of money. We made $109 million off the World Series. We made $411 million off of last season. So let's do it again. Let's field a team that can get back to the World Series, and maybe we'll make more than that this year. Maybe we'll make $450 million. Maybe we'll bring in $125 million for this World Series. No, I don't know. Matt is in Bergen County on the Fan. You got it, Matt.
Hey, Keith, first-time caller. I wish you came to my high school today. I was really missing that right now. But I just want to talk about how desperate Yankee fans are for a World Series win and to win over 100 games every season, when that just isn't going to happen because it's baseball,
I was about to say, I don't care if it's 100 wins. We've done that before and been beat by the Astros in the ALCS. It's a World Series. We need a damn parade. When I say I'm getting too old, I'm going to be too old to party all day for that parade in the next 5 years. I'm still in enough of my prime where if they win the World Series this year, I'm partying all day, all night. I might go on a 2-3 day bender.
Well, I mean, I'm 16 years old. I haven't seen TV on my couch while Garrett Cole like lost in the 5th inning or the Yankees did.
Yeah, it sucked. I was physically there and I was sweating and wanted to throw up, wanted to run on the field and scream. And yeah, I don't know. Thanks for the call, Matt. I'll say this, like, there are a lot of Yankee fans with unrealistic expectations for the team and for the sport. The Yankees are competitive, do win, and go to the postseason most years. I do expect them to go to the postseason again this year. I think I'd be drunk getting on the air and saying I expect them to win the World Series, but I can't say that they can't. I can't say that that's not possible when they haven't started playing yet. There's too much unknown. But where I'm at is, okay, you lose your game one starter, you lose your ace, and Cole will be back after he gets his surgery. He'll be a pitching coach on this team. He'll be some type of a factor on this team. But like, you need to replace that, and you still have 2 holes in the lineup at DH and at third base, and now you have multiple holes and issues where you are weakened. And if you start this season slow, it's going to get loud. And as much as I'm optimistic right now, as much as I'm preaching positivity and not jumping off the ship and riding and believing, hell, I'm calling them out. If these things pop up, like Dominguez dropping fly balls, or Dom Smith has to DH, or Ben Rice is DHing and they're 0 for 4, and if Cabrera is not hitting, and if some of these other guys are not hitting, like, we're gonna certainly talk about it. I'll be here to take your calls at 888-808-1019. We're not gonna hide from it. When we come back, I'll start to sprinkle in some of the conversation around Justin Fields, the Jets, Daniel Jones signing with the Colts, the G-men going defense. Keith McPherson on the Fan. Stay with us. We'll be right back. I don't even know. Chat. So, okay. Chris was throwing money in the. Is Boone serious when considering batting Austin Wells leadoff? And where do you want Wells in the lineup? We don't have a leadoff hitter again, so he's hit some home runs leading off. I can't be against it. Put him there. To start the year. Put him there. It's fine. Appreciate the $5, bro. Donate to the diaper fund. If you're on YouTube, you can throw money like Chris did. $5 goes a long way. If 10 people throw $5, I can get 168 diapers for Jackson McPherson, my son. I'm just kidding. I got money. I'm good. We got plenty of diapers. I just went to BJ's on Saturday. Does Vladdy get traded at the deadline? No. They'd be stupid to do that. No. I think the Blue Jays are going for it. I think the Blue Jays are going to up their bid for him. The Blue Jays had $700 million for Ohtani. And if you believe what Juan Soto said about there being 2 teams that offered more money than the Mets, maybe they had $800 million for Juan Soto. I expect them to try and get Vladdy. Keith, can you give us a tour of WFAN? Sure, why not? Come along. Even though you spelled my name wrong, Big Red 2.0, you might be an Ocean Township guy. You might be a Big Red Spartan. Quickly here. Come along with me. WFAN in New York. This is the Mike Francesa studio where Tiki and Evan do their show. Evan and Tiki, rather. And also BT and Sal. And through the glass is the production room. That's where the producers sit. Phone number is right there just in case you forget it. All right, we'll do a quick lap here, y'all. There's someone's like, yo, can you give us a tour? I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's during the break. I'm a people pleaser. You're watching my stream. I could do that for you. Boomer and Gio. Still here. This is like the digital cockpit back here. You can see all the cameras that run during the shows that clip the social media stuff. That's an old school WFAN. I don't know what the hell this is, honestly. The boss's office, Izzo's office, Dave's office, digital in there. Steve Summers' break room. Shout out my OG, the Schmooze legend, icon. Me here, you there. Captain Midnight. I'm not gonna take y'all over there. The boy Rami coming back. Yeah. 1 minute until we're back live. Newsroom. CBS or Infinity Sports, it's called now. All right, start planting some seeds for the NFL conversation. Was that a good tour or no? Fresh fit, Keith? I'm not dressed for work. I'm not fitted at all. I just fresher than most of our other hosts. Easily. Today was a good day. I think most of the time when this song hits, you reflect on the day. And as we get to the end of the day here, I do want to sprinkle in some football, some NFL football, so that when the clock strikes 12 and we turn to March 12th, good morning, we can take some calls on the Jets, on the Giants, Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields. So here's my takes quickly. And, I'll elaborate and go into them the next hour. I think Justin Fields, people just got to give him an opportunity to grow. I think he learned a lot this past year being benched. I think he's fresh. I think he got to see the Steelers culture up front or up close and personal. And I think that's big going from Chicago to Pittsburgh and now coming into the Jets, who have been a laughingstock. And they need a leader. They need a culture changer. And I think he can be a part of that. As far as Aaron Rodgers goes, I think it's clear that he's going to Pittsburgh if he's going anywhere. I know the Vikings came out and said J.J. McCarthy is their starting quarterback. I don't really know how they could do that or really be serious about that, but whatever. They drafted him last year. If he's healthy, he's ready to go. That's who they're rolling with. But I think Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to complete the full circle of Brett Favre. And, him going to Sixburg with Mike Tomlin, and I could see it. If Mike Tomlin is down for the shenanigans for a year with DK Metcalf and George Pickens, I could kind of see it. We're waiting on that shoe to drop. But, earlier today we heard Daniel Jones, right? Diana Rossini was saying The NFL world is waiting for Daniel Jones' decision. And you know, Daniel Jones got picked up by the Vikings. He didn't play for them, but he was over there. So some of us thought he would have a chance to stay in Minnesota. No, he took a 1-year, $14 million deal with $13.5 million guaranteed to join the Colts. And you know what? When it's all said and done, Daniel Jones is going to be one of the richer quarterbacks in this era, based off of being a number 6 overall draft pick, getting that $40 million a year deal from the Giants, and now even with this little $14 million, like, he's got a lot of football left in him. He's going to keep getting deals like this, and the money's just going to keep going up, and he's got money in the bank. So he's got $100 million. He's going to be one of the like richer backup quarterbacks, and I don't know if he's the backup in Indy. All he's got to do is be in shape condition-wise to beat out Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson was tapping on his helmet after scrambling. Oh, I need a break. I've never seen that in my life. Never. I don't think any of us have. In my little football life, I never heard of the quarterback tapping himself out of the game because he was winded. You better stand in that huddle and catch your breath. You better figure it out. I still think that's hilarious. Bro said he did a lot of running. He needed to come out. You don't come out of the game? What are you saying? Anyway, now Daniel Jones is going to go compete with him. There were some rumors that the Giants might be interested in trading for Anthony Richardson. The Giants need to be on the phone with Mike Vrabel. They need to be on the phone with whoever the GM is up there in New England. Call Bob Kraft. Get Joe Milton. I'd be trying to trade for Joe Milton right now. Straight up. I try to at least, see what they want for him. But, yeah, Daniel Jones, I think, can win that job. And then, of course, it's going to fall right back on Shane and Dable and this Giants regime. It's going to fall right on them if he starts and he succeeds and he plays well. When we come back, I'll play a clip from Javon Holland, new safety from Miami, who chose to sign with the Giants. And it seems like the Giants are prioritizing defense. I know they caught a lot of flack from paying Darius Slayton more money or the same amount of money that they would have to pay Saquon Barkley. But, yeah, we'll start to get in those topics around Justin Fields and the Jets, Daniel Jones signing with the Colts, Aaron Rodgers potentially with the Steelers, and then ultimately, who do the Giants sign? Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson in Tennessee. I think Sierra and those kids rather be in Jersey and New York. I think Russ rather come to the Giants. But we're still waiting on all of those signings and the quarterback carousel to come to a stop. 888-808-1019. Limo driver Ed, I got to you. You got it.
It is crazy out here. Anytime I hear you guys on the best spot talking about some of these baseball players, how the hell are they in the league then? Because the way y'all talk about these guys like bad news. Or, why are they getting paid? If they can't catch, they don't do this, they don't run this out. That. Bro?
Baseball is.
I've been talking to them like these guys, man, need to be in triple,
And none of us could do what they do for an inning, but we're very critical of them, and we expect them to be perfect. And baseball is a game of failure, but that's why they pay them the big bucks, man. They'll.
A dude can't play in the outfield. Like what?
I'm not saying Dominguez can't play. I'm saying that he's shown us a lot of alarming things where it's gonna be an issue in the season, and the Yankees seem to be fine with it. They want the better defense up the middle. So be it. Ball will find you, though. I've been in there. I've seen the ball fall shallow left field. I've seen it fall fair in right in that foul territory. It drops fair. I've seen it go into the gap left field in Yankee Stadium. There's a lot of ground to cover to throw a 22-year-old kid out there for the first time and say, figure it out, son.
Yeah, figure it out. Yeah, it's crazy. Now, listen, with Rodgers, past 3 years, can we please get rid of this man? Will he please retire?
No, he's not retiring. He's got a complex. He's got a God complex. I heard Tiki saying he's got a hero complex. He's not going out with, Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji fired me. He's not retiring.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, he don't have to retire, but he ain't going to win no division. He may not get to the playoffs.
Yeah, but he's fooled people. I've taken so many calls since the end of the season. Keith, his stats, his touchdowns, his yards. I'm like, did you guys not watch him throw interceptions? Did you guys not watch him lose games? Did you guys not watch him not be able to do what he's done his whole career, which is drive in the fourth quarter and win the game, he's cooked.
That's what I'm saying. And listen, you know, I'm a Jets season ticket holder. I couldn't get rid of my tickets, man, if I wanted to. I stayed outside the stadium last year. And the thing is, they talk about this young kid coming up there now. I'm going to like him because I'll tell you one thing. You look at us, third and short. We was one of the worst teams in the league at third and short. Okay? This kid, what he's going to do is he's going to take off. That's the kind of quarterback we need. We need somebody, and he, you know, after a while, I think he'll learn. I think that he knows for a fact is, let me grab this money now. Because I tell you one thing, as a backup, you sure ain't getting no 30, 40 million.
No, but you brought up a great point. I was talking about it last night. When I watched him with the Steelers, he was a threat in short yardage and goal line. Pick your poison. He can throw the ball. Like, people act like he can't throw the ball at all. He can throw the ball. He has to work on some of his touch and dropping the ball in, but that can be repped. He is a threat to run it. Like, you have him, Breece Hall running zone read, you're gonna get that 3rd and 1, that 4th and 1. You're gonna get that goal, that goal to go. Like, you're gonna score touchdowns when you get in the red zone with him.
Now, many times that we've seen this happen, and we said, damn, he could have ran a few, that he could have ran a couple yards. We didn't have that. We don't have a threat. You gotta have a have that threat.
It's gonna look so different, Ed, when you have a quarterback that is his size, his speed, that can just take off, and you feel like there's nothing there. You know what? Also, too, he took care of the ball. He didn't throw interceptions. And I also was saying the other night, he had a couple games where he got cooking with DJ Moore with the Bears, where DJ Moore wanted him to stay and didn't want them to get Caleb Williams. His boy is Garrett Wilson from college. You think they're not going to start repping and working together again and being like, yo, let's cook up, let's win?
Hey, listen, that's what I'm saying. But right now, too, man, I'm looking at all these players we losing, but where's the players coming back? We didn't get nobody else.
Yeah, Jamian Sherwood, he came back.
Oh, yeah, he did. That's right. Yeah, he did. And listen, man, my phone's been blowing up with the Jets because the thing is, I told them I wasn't going to do it no more. I'm not going to be paying all this money. Pennsylvania. Man, they still blowing my phone up.
Yeah.
Front office called me. I said, next thing you know, Aaron Glenn's going to be calling.
Hey, Ed, this is AG. I just like to introduce myself. I'm the new coach of the Jets. Thanks for the call, Ed. 888-808-1019. I did see a Dove Kleiman tweet. Is it time to stop sleeping on the Jets? And he took a screenshot of a Sam Block tweet where they listed Braylon Allen, 21, Olu Fashanu, 22, Breece Hall, 23, Garrett Wilson, 24, Sauce Gardner, 24, Will McDonald, 25, Justin Fields, 26, Jermaine Johnson, 26, Quinnen Williams, 27, Quincy Williams, 28. They have a young core of talented players. All of those guys that I named under 30 are good football players. Now they actually have some coaches. Paul, you're bugging out. Like, you had Zach Wilson as your quarterback. You had Mike White as your quarterback. You had Trevor Siemian as your quarterback, Tim Boyle, and you had a cooked Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Aaron Rodgers did more harm than good.
Justin Fields, 44 games in his career, 45 touchdowns, 31 interceptions, never made the postseason.
That's in the past. That's with the Chicago Bears. No, it isn't. He's never been on a team with this much of a young core of talented players and these coaches.
There's around the guy?
Yeah. These are proven players. These are young players, but they're proven. And I'm telling you the difference coaching makes. You haven't had the right coaches in the building. It's a blind leading the blind. Yeah, but Aaron Glenn is a first-time coach, but he's done every single thing from be a scout to being a position coach to being a coordinator.
All I know is he was with Mike Tomlin last year, who was a top-tier coach, and Tomlin thought he was trash.
Tomlin never said he was trash. Tomlin, out of respect for Russell Wilson as a Super Bowl winning, should have been a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, and to get their passing game going, because Russell had the touch. Russell threw the moon ball. Russell could get the ball to George Pickens. I feel like Justin Fields is more of a thrower of the ball. It's like he's so strong. He's throwing darts. You have to be able to place it in there over the safety, over the corner. You need to place it in there over the linebacker at times.
Hope I am wrong, but the Jets are setting themselves up for a 5-win season again because Justin Fields has never proven it.
Listen, I ask you Jets fans who hurt you, but I know you all talk like you've just been hurt. You've just been hurt beyond you just can't believe. No, because you're it's a long drought. You're a laughing stock of sports. But what if this is the change? What if these are the guys? What if these are the actual smart guys that make the right decisions and put together a team where you're like, wait a minute, we can beat the Patriots twice. Wait a minute, now we look like we can go toe-to-toe with Miami. Do we dare say that they can knock off the Bills? Like, maybe. We don't know yet. Coaching matters, and young talent matters. And now they get Aaron Rodgers out of the building and his influence. I think they're on their way. They might not be a winning team this year, but I think they're on their way to ending that playoff drought. 888-808-1019. John is in Bergen County on the Fan. Hello, John.
Hey, Keith, it's John from Bergen County. I was at one of your sessions today at school. I wanted to let all your listeners know how awesome you were, how respectful you were, humble. Your story was inspiring, and I think in this industry you're doing it the right way. And I think it was a great lesson for all the kids. So I think keep doing what you're doing, and I'm really excited to follow your career and see where you go.
I'm extremely flattered. Thank you for calling and saying all that. And again, it was an honor to be there. I appreciate you guys having me. I went to sleep last night at 4 a.m. I got up at 9:30 to edit my PowerPoint. I still had 2 typos in it after reading it over, but you guys didn't give me a hard time, and I think everybody enjoyed it. And I really have fun, talking to the 9th graders, the 10th graders, and playing the little game that we played. So yeah, shout out to you guys for bringing me in, and for how many people have called tonight to say thank you. Like that's real. That's real. That's extremely humbling and flattering. Thank you. Thanks, John. I thought he was going to say something else. That's it. So, yeah, I mean, if you haven't caught on from 10 p.m. to now, I went to the Torah Academy of Bergen County. And, I set out a while ago to start doing public speaking. I actually started here at WFAN. We had the Urban League come in, I think 2 years ago, and Spike threw me in to talk to the Urban League boys. It was me and Tiki on a panel. And Tiki has a great story. But I think my story resonated with the young guys more just because I'm younger and I'm not a pro athlete. And some of the people after that were like, you have a great story, you have a great voice, you're good at storytelling, you should pursue this. And then I did it again with 94.7 The Block. I think Skip from 94.7 The Block, we talked to the young girls from the Urban League here. And I was like, wait, maybe this is something that I can pursue. It's just, it's weird because it's you don't know when you're at the level of being here's how I made it, but I am at that level now. And humbly, I want to do it because, man, there were so many years I was young and struggling and not making it. There were so many years where I was questioning myself. There were so many years where I almost turned back and gave up. And if I can give little nuggets and little pieces of game to young people that aspire to be in radio and TV and media, why not, man? Why not? So like I said, I went to sleep at 4. I was all 5.5 hours of sleep, but I had enough energy for that. And yeah, I'm going to keep booking some schools, man. Shout out to the young boys over there that had me come in today. 888-808-1019. Now we're talking football on the Fan, but if you're on hold to talk Yankees, I will get back to you. KM to 2 a.m. returns right after this. Okay, yo. Chat faster. So I gave the tour last break. This isn't a fresh fit. This is just a thermal Yankee cap. Damn. I lost my pen. All right, here we go. So you can see the pin. One of the best All-Star games ever. LA was so much fun. All-Star game 2022. I gotta get my hair done tomorrow for real. 10 a.m. go uptown to Harlem, get my hair done in Harlem with the Jamaicans. Anyway, not that fresh. Actually bummy. But like I got hella fits, hats, all types of stuff. Yo, Keith, about that Soto documentary, I'm with you. Like, what are we doing here? I just was like, bro, I never seen a trailer on like, here's how we signed a player. It's like, we knew you were going to sign the player. It was the richest owner in the sport and a player that was looking for the most money. Like, we didn't like stop trying to sell us on the family dynamic that you pitched him. Like, miss me with the BS, bro. I'm taking Fried, Rodon, Heel, Schmidt over the Mets. Yeah, but we can't do that. Heel's not healthy. But I understand what you're saying because right now Montas is not healthy and neither is Manaea. Daniel Jones is signing with the Colts. Yep. This dude is the best host on WFAN. Give bro a raise and a position in the Yanks head. Yo, I'm saying, bro. What we talking about, bro? What we saying, bro? What we saying, bro? What we saying, bro? I'm gonna let that rock, bro. Let that rock, like. Joe, what up? I'm not sure where the Yankees' priorities are anymore. It's just odd to see them enter a season with so many question marks. Yeah, they just like they stop themselves and they like this is good. This is fine. This is fine. But where's the like this is this let me see if I can add this real quick. Okay, let's see. No longer include you. All right, let me see here. When you say you're prepared for the worst as the general manager of the team, does that mean you're prepared to just be sad or you're prepared? You have a plan. Prepared for the worst is like, oh, I anticipated this. I have a move. I've got a bullet in the chamber. I'm ready to pull the trigger on something. I think we have two different definitions. I think prepared for the worst is just accepting that Garrett Cole is out for a year and a half, maybe more. Batman is prepared for the worst if the Justice League turns against him. Batman has a plan for a way to kill every member of the Justice League. He's got a little kryptonite tuck just in case Clark Kent feels some type of way and wants to use his super strength. That's being prepared for the worst. When you say you're prepared for the worst as the general manager of the team, does that mean you're prepared to just be sad or you're prepared? You have a plan. Prepared for the worst is like, oh, I anticipated this. I have a move. I've got a bullet in the chamber. I'm ready to pull the trigger on something. I think we have two different definitions. I think prepared for the worst is just accepting that Garrett Cole is out for a year and a half, maybe more. Batman is prepared for the worst if the Justice League turns against him. Batman has a plan for a way to kill every member of the Justice League. He's got a little kryptonite tuck just in case Clark Kent feels some type of way and wants to use his super strength. That's being prepared for the worst. And just accepting the worst is just like, it's not being prepared. That's not doing nothing. All right. I was working on a video for previewing a video. Now we're going back. A couple calls and we'll get to the update. That's that Bronx music or that Queens music, but they play this in the Bronx. You know what I mean? Mobb Deep. Keith McPherson on the fan. Let's take a couple calls before we get to the 12 o'clock break and update. Avery in Manhattan back on the fan. What's up? How you feeling out there? Oh, nice. Spring break. And you come back to spring break and Cole is completely broken.
Right. I wanted to offer a little bit of a different perspective potentially to echo something that you've mentioned before, except I don't believe that they should use, well, first of all, there's nothing in my mind that thinks that there's actually a chance they're going to use that extra insurance money, considering what Cashman has to say today. But if they do decide to get over themselves and use that extra insurance money to do something, they still have to attack hitters, and if any, getting hitters, and if anything at all, more than before. If there's any opportunity to do that, now's the time. I think that I like Will Warren. I think he can figure it out. I think we can figure it out until Heel gets back, as long as nobody else gets hurt on the pitching staff. I don't think they should be pursuing an ace as much as they should be pursuing that position player more aggressively than before.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Before Cole went down, I'm like, yo, we still need a bat. People were like, hey, Keith, they heard you on the facial hair policy. They heard you on the Frank Sinatra song. What's the next thing? I'm like, a bat. We need another bat in the lineup. Stanton is down, and third base is not that strong. We need another bat, and we still need another bat. And now we need another pitcher. So whatever, yo.
Luxury tax point that you guys were talking about before the Justin Fields conversation. I know, like you said, they can afford to go over the tax. I don't know what's holding them up. We can go in on a endless spiral of
what's holding them up is not wanting to spend money that they don't have to spend. We think they have to. They're looking at it as, we don't have to. If you can avoid penalty, you try to avoid penalty, right? If you have a bill, if you have a bill that they tell you got to pay by March 15th, you pay it by March 15th, because if you pay it after March 15th, you got to pay an extra $50 fee on it. You try to avoid that. That's how they look at this, like a bill.
Don't care.
I don't care either, because you're rich. Like, I have to move like that. I can't afford an extra $50 on a bill. I got to pay it on time, because an extra 50 is like, all right, that's too much. You are worth $7.5 billion. You made all of this money last year. Like, if there ever was a time to go over and go in, it's coming off a trip to the World Series. But what do I know, bro? This is a stupid brainwashed Yankee fan.
Listen, I'm with you, though. We got to go for the ride. We got to see how it goes and just keep pushing and see what happens. Because the fact of the matter is that with or without Cole, we are among the top teams in the American League. We still have one of the best rotations in the American League. And we're still a playoff team. And when you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. And honestly, last year, for most of the season, I didn't think that team had a shot, especially for that.
You're right. Yeah, like,
Sox don't count.
There were plenty of times last year where they pissed me off. Losing that first game to the White Sox, losing to the Reds, losing to the Nationals. In June, they were getting beat by the Braves, the Orioles, the Dodgers. I'm like, this team is not really. But you know what I leaned on last year? I'm like, baseball is so random, and they do have Judge and Soto. If they figure it out a little bit, like they if the chips fall where they may, they had a course where they faced the AL Central, and they got there and got it done. This year is going to be a different journey. Maybe they need to be the last wild card. Maybe they need to, scrap and claw and then get in and lean on experience from last year. It's a different team. I want to see what Belly looks like. I want to see what Goldie looks like. I want to see a full year of Jazz. I want to be in there like PC Richardson when Devin Williams is striking people out to close the game. It's going to have a different look and feel to it. And so let's go for the ride.
I get it. I get the reaction from Yankee fans about, oh, there's a complete and utter collapse, because that's just how Yankee fans are. Just the whole talk about how everybody's getting hurt. I know everybody's getting injured, but now it feels like just this one thing is like everybody's just going to full-blown panic. That's just a little bit and see what happens.
Yankee fans relax? No, they most of them hate the team.
Judge is okay.
As long as Judge is okay. Thanks for the call, Avery. Like, I'll say this. None of these injuries are surprising. You're surprised LeMahieu has a calf strain, is going to start on the IL? Oh, wait, you're surprised Luisio, who threw more innings than he ever threw in his life, coming off Tommy John, who we were monitoring last year, like, You're surprised that guy's got a lat strain? Giancarlo Stanton, who injuries and being hurt is a part of his game. You're surprised Stanton's got tennis elbow. Oh, Garrett Cole, who deja vu missed the first half of last year and got scratched in spring training because there were elbow issues, had to go get an MRI and got shut down. You're surprised that he needs Tommy John? He needed it probably last year. These aren't surprising. So we push forward with what we have and who we have, and fingers crossed that these guys have some urgency, and not just at the deadline. The deadline is the last days, the last hours. You know, when they traded for John Birdie last year, and John Birdie, another injury-prone player, it was a move because they didn't have DJ and they didn't like Cabrera at third base. Now you like Cabrera a year later at third base, man, make a move and get another bat. And this is the last stretch here. We'll find out who's DFA'd and if they add to his team before opening day. Okay, we got a break. 888-808-1019. I'll say good morning on the other side. Yo, give me a minute. I got to post something. When you say you're prepared, okay. That's going to be posted on Instagram. When you say you're all right. We've got an update for you. Windows is going to be another time. We don't want to update now. Let's see. Brian Cashman said he was prepared for the worst. I think we have different. When you say you're prepared,
Good morning at 12 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. What does Aaron Rodgers want? That's the question we all continue to ask as the four-time MVP continues to contemplate his future. Giants and Steelers waiting for word. Reports are not a money situation. Just where does Rodgers feel he gets the best chance to win, with the Vikings being a wild card? It's unclear if Minnesota wants Rodgers after the departure of Daniel Jones to Indy, or if they're comfortable with J.J. McCarthy that he's healthy enough to take over. Giants continue to be active in free agency to try to convince Rodgers, it seems, bringing in 25-year-old safety Javon Holland, 3 years, $45 million. Brian Cashman trying to figure things out with the loss of Garrett Cole for the season and Luis Gil until at least June, but realizing he doesn't have much time is courtesy of Yes. Make it 4 straight losses for the Rangers. Fell to the Jets 2-1 as the Blue Shirts still 2 points back in the final playoff spot. Islanders trail the Kings 2-1 there in the second period. Ilya Sorokin, 21 saves. Devils got a goal and assist from Jesper Bratt, snap a 3-game skid past the Blue Jackets 5-3. And the Cavs got 30 from Darius Garland, held off the Nets 109-104 for their 15th straight win. 55 degrees, clear skies, Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Good morning. Good morning. You can hate me now. Yo, ignore the haters, yo. Just ignore the haters, bro. Just ignore the haters. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. All right. We're going to talk sports. Spoiler alert. You know, we're mostly talking about the Yanks, but I do want to get into more of the conversation around the New York Football Giants, the Jets. We started to do some of that in the last half hour, but there's more to do. Dial 888-808-1009 if you have a take on the moves that have been made by Joe Schoen to bolster up that secondary, the Giants defense. Some other moves around the NFL. I saw DeAndre Hopkins, not done. Goes from Patrick Mahomes to Lamar Jackson. All right, 1-year deal. Still not ready to hang it up. 1 year, $6 million deal. A little possession receiver. Run a couple curl routes for Lamar to scramble and hit him with to move the sticks. Who else moved around? Joey Bosa. Everybody was just sure Joey Bosa was going to go to San Francisco. If you're going to San Francisco, it better be for no money because they are collecting funds to pay Brock Purdy. I had a caller the other night suggest that the Giants trade for Brock Purdy. I'm like, nah, they're not letting him out of there. Like, why would they do that? And he's like, he said Brock Purdy just looks like a giant. And I'm like, no, actually, he looks like quite the opposite. He's pretty small. 888-808-1009. Yeah, I saw an article in Front Office Sports. The 49ers have cut several veterans from their Super Bowl run and lost others to free agency ahead of a massive extension for Brock Purdy. So all signs lead to them being like, hey, we got to pay this kid. Mr. Irrelevant to NFC Championship and Super Bowl. And like this kid, he's just locked in. And if we build around him for the next few years, maybe he gets it done in this NFC. So the 49ers are also adding Rams wide receiver Demarcus Robinson on a very affordable 2-year deal at $9.5 million. He made some plays against them. He made some plays for the rival Rams with Matthew Stafford. They don't need him anymore. They've got Devontae Adams. Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell's like, I got to get out of Philly. Saquon's getting all the carries. He goes to the Steelers. So that's 3 players that wear number 14. George Pickens, DK Metcalf, and Kenneth Gainwell. George Pickens not giving up the 1-4. What else did I have in my notes here? The Joey Bosa deal was 1 year, $12.6 million. Sorry, Nick. Can't bring your brother over there. That contract also has a chance to be $15.6 million. I do want to talk Javon Holland. The legendary Michael Fliegelman is in the building. I'll have to send him a clip of Javon Holland talking about what he was looking for in the offseason in a team. And then he signs with the Giants. Stay tuned for that clip coming up. I still have a bunch of Yankee calls to take. 888-808-1019. Moose in Jamaica back on the Fan. Go for it, Moose. You're. Good morning.
Chilling. So I like to preface the whole Yankee situation with Brian Cashman and the sort of recalibration of everything considered, right? By saying, I literally, over the past 3 weeks, took 3 midterms in 2 classes I've taken before at my 4-year college and aced the classes, aced the midterms without even studying because I've taken the classes before at other colleges and or worked in the industry for a full 2 years, was successful, was exposed to the knowledge.
Okay.
That being said, Brian Cashman is no spring chicken. He's been a GM for nearly 20 years. I've had to reload. We lived this in 2019. We lived this in other years when people went down to spring training midseason. We will veteran hitters, pitchers, agents, players will open up in the trade market or some sort of market, and we'll be able to maneuver. Cashman always does this. So I know there's a lot of like, oh my God, the floor is sinking. We're falling from the sky without a parachute.
Just got to wait.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we just got to wait. Cashman is so I've already been talking about it. Moose, I don't know if you heard from 10 o'clock to now. Cashman is never going to show his hand. Yeah. Cashman is never going to show his hand. Cashman is also not going to get fleeced. Everybody, this is something I haven't said. Everybody in baseball is calling up for these 2 guys who I got the alert today. Yankees roster moves. Spencer Jones to minor league and yesterday, George Lombard. Everybody's calling up asking for Spencer Jones and George Lombard Jr. He is not trading those guys. I did see Everson Pereira, who people were talking about Everson Pereira being the DH option because he was hitting 8th inning home runs in spring training. Yeah, he goes to Scranton. Cashman's not going to give up his top prospects. He's not going to get fleeced. He's not going to show his hand. He's not going to overreact. He's not going to sign somebody that nobody else in baseball was willing to sign, like a Lance Lynn or a Trevor Bauer. He is going to wait and see how the season starts. Last year, they were able to survive without Cole. Not just survive, they thrived. So they're going to go with what they have and who they have. And if this team sucks, then maybe he'll make a move sooner than the deadline. But I've seen this episode before. He will wait till 4:30 on July 31st to go get the ace, whichever ace is potentially available for the postseason push.
Exactly. And I want to talk a little football considering. I love Aaron Rodgers. Hail Mary, come with me. This man throws Hail Mary like we throw garbage in a waste basket. Like unconscious with it. Amazing arm talent, great quarterback, and fast. But he can't do it with the Giants. He don't have the legs. Regardless of how our offensive line plays, I want them to, if Shedeur falls to a draft of, if not, maybe draft Jackson Dart, move into the first round with the second round pick, or draft him in the second round if he's available, and have them compete for the starting job with some other middling veteran quarterback with some legs to escape the pocket and teach them. It's not. Aaron Rodgers and the Giants is not a good look.
Yeah, and I don't think it's happening either. I think that ship is starting to sail unless the Giants, and I had to think about that over the weekend. I'm like, can the Giants sell Aaron Rodgers on this team? Like, it seems like they're making moves to bolster up their defense. And I think all signs are pointing to him going to the Steelers. Who knows, man? Who knows? Aaron Rodgers is an enigma. Aaron Rodgers is very secretive, and and who knows what he's thinking, and nobody's in his inner circle. And I don't know, man. I just think Aaron Rodgers is a song that doesn't end. I think I was listening to Sal earlier today, just like, I can't do it. If he's here another year on the Giants and we got to watch him and talk about him every day, like, let it end, let it be over. Go to Pittsburgh. Let Andrew Filipponi talk about him in Pittsburgh. I'm good. Shappy in Bayside, New York on the Fan. Hello. Darth Vader, you there? You know, sometimes you just put these people to sleep, man. Unlistenable. Or maybe so good to listen to that it's just soothing, and my voice just puts you in the Josh and Passaic, I know he's awake.
Yo, Keith, what's doing, man?
You know, I don't get to these calls fast enough. Next thing you know, it's midnight and we got to turn the page to the next day, and people are on hold and they fall asleep on their phone. It's not the first time it's happened.
Trying to decide if he was actually snoring or if that was fake.
Could have been a troll. Could have been a troll. Either way, whatever. Like, he just. Yeah, but like, if you're calling and holding for that long to do that, I win, you lose. Like, what are you doing anyway?
So first off, why in the world did D-Hop go to the Ravens? Why would he want to stay with the Chiefs? He's at the end of his career, he's not doing much anyway, and if they only want to give you $3-4 million, $1 million less than the Ravens, just do an extra ad or something. Why would this guy want to move to a team that can't get past the playoffs?
Not 100% sure that the Chiefs wanted him. Not 100% sure that they would have even paid him what he got. And you know, it's tough to lose that Super Bowl with the Chiefs. He got there and lost with them. Maybe he's thinking next year is Lamar's year and Derrick Henry's year. And I don't know. I think the Chiefs always, you know, just reload and have more receivers. And maybe he's looking for more of a role. He didn't have a huge role. Maybe he's looking to get more receptions.
And no chance. I mean, they haven't cut Mark Andrews. You know, like we all thought they would really move on. But
he's a legacy Raider. He's an all-time Raider. Yeah, he dropped the ball, but so what? He might be back there.
No, we haven't seen anything on that end. Before I got to the Mets, I didn't even realize how the Columbus Blue Jackets. Whenever I looked at the past standings for the past year, they was on the bottom. So I first knew them playing well with them. That didn't like, okay, fine, they're a bad team. No, look, these guys are right on our heels. What a win tonight.
Yeah.
Another few games. Look at Luke Hughes, and Markstrom was much better tonight. I'm almost ready to put that jersey on. You see a few more solid games from him. But the goalie trio, they got to pull the jersey down.
Yeah, the Devils had on the black jersey across the chest, sweaters. Markey looked good. Jesper Bratt, Timo Meyer, Paul Cotter, Luke Hughes. In my open, I said that, losing Jack Hughes is a huge blow. Losing Jalen Brunson is a huge blow. Losing Garrett Cole is a huge blow. It takes a couple days to process it and get over it. It takes a couple games to pivot and adapt and find your new identity without those guys. But the rest of these guys are pros. The rest of these guys are competitive. They want to win. They're not backing it up. And you're seeing that with the Devils. They know they got to push forward here. And tonight was a great example of that. Like, okay, this is a team that we can't let come into our building and beat us. This is a team that we need to send a message to without Dougie Hamilton, without Jack Hughes. And they did. It was a good showing tonight.
So there's 2 in a row right now. I hope they're pushing for more. And looking at our Mets, they better. I hear they're interested in bringing back James McCann. Do not want to see this guy back again. I really hope those reports are all made up. Can't stand to see this guy back. And, all these Yankees fans are all scared of Boston for some reason. Well, at least you're getting some news. I know the Abello is not going to start in the beginning of the year. Rocco Devers still hasn't debuted in spring training. So don't be too scared of them, Keith. Thanks for taking my call. Have a good night.
I'm not scared. Shout out to Luis Torrens holding it down. He said he's going to take things real seriously, and he came out and homered right after. The Mets are going to be all right, man. The Mets got a lineup. They've got enough pitching. They've got the right vibes. Make sure you're buying your Mets season tickets and all of that, and you're going to pack that place out. You know, what happens if the Yankees, without Garrett Cole, without Stanton, without Luis Gil, still draw more than the Mets? What happens if the Yankees, who the season is over, somehow figure out how to beat teams like the Milwaukee Brewers or the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Tigers, right? Let me look at the Yankees schedule in this first month coming up really fast. Brewers at home. Yeah, I knew I missed one. The Diamondbacks. Brewers at home, Diamondbacks at home, Pirates, Tigers, Giants, like Royals. Like the Yankees have a shot to start off winning a bunch of series in a row. They also could lose. But I just think like all of the fans panicking saying this team's cooked, season's over. What if they win and they're expected to win? And they have new faces here that came here to win. Paul Goldschmidt came here to win. Cody Bellinger came here to win. Max Fried came here to win. Like Devin Williams expects to be the last guy on the mound getting wins. Let's see it. 888-808-1019. Jarvis is up in Harlem on the Fan. What up?
What's up, Keith? How are you?
I'm all right, hanging in there.
All right, that's good. I want to talk about the, Jets and Aaron Rodgers, and think that he's going to Pittsburgh, and so I was listening to it was like 2 days before. It was like Mike Figman, the producers, and he's a Jet fan and doing where I was hosting with Jared Recco. He was saying like, what if Aaron Rodgers played for the Pittsburgh and then he go against his former team at the New York Jets? And he said I was rooting against the Jets. He said the Pittsburgh Steelers will put up 40 points. Make my life. He said make my life feel better. I was laughing.
Now that has to happen. Now we need to live that.
Oh man, that was like so funny, man. Oh man, yeah. So.
The schedule is not out, but we have the Jets 2025 opponents, right? And the Steelers are one of their opponents. Yeah, they are at home too. He's got to go to Pittsburgh and make it to that game, and then come back and light the Jets up in MetLife Stadium. It would make too much sense. The script is out there. It's been written.
He's always negative. He's like more than like joke the day.
Yo, Fleegs is here. He can hear you. He did he screen your call? Thanks for the call, Jarvis. I'm like, Fleegs is here. You talking about Fleegs? I'm looking at him. He can hear you. Fleegs, can you respond to Jarvis? I'm asleep in the morning. I did not hear what he was referencing.
I've released myself for the Woody Johnson team. God bless you all. You're a bunch of morons. Have fun.
Yeah, I'm not selling that. I'm saying, hey, what if this is the guy that can change it as Aaron Glenn is the new head coach? What if this is the GM? I don't know. But then
Fields does not have fun, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just more likely that it's more of the same. Like, it's just, how do these guys overcome just the Jets being the Jets? And like what Fleegs just said, he led with the name Woody Johnson. They have to overcome Woody Johnson as the owner. I want to believe that Woody's going to absolutely fall back, but I don't think he has that in his system. And even if he falls back, here comes Brick Johnson all bricked up in the Jets locker room. Let's go down to Louisiana. Jeff, you're on the Fan in New York.
Oh, hi, Keith. I wanted to begin, before I get to what I was calling about, I wanted to begin with an apology. I don't know if you remember, but when I called and asked you guys, would it be foolish for the Giants to draft Jackson Dart with the third pick if the two top-rated quarterbacks go 1-2? somewhere in there I said that Jackson Dart played for Ohio State last year, and I didn't hear what you said, which you were correct. You know, he played for Ole Miss just like Eli, and I didn't hear what you said. So I said, let me finish.
I remember the call. Don't worry about it. It's funny you say that. We just had Josh and Passaic on, and he said something to me and called back yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't take myself that serious. All this stuff is fun. I hope you guys never like hold on to anything, but I remember the call. I was just trying to correct for the audience where he played. But like, I give you guys your run. I give you guys like your airtime. You're calling, you're waiting on hold. But yeah, I do remember the call. I didn't take any offense to it, but good of you of, next time you get on air, clearing that up. What do you got for us tonight?
Well, I wanted to say, and I'm going to give an analogy, but I'm really pleased with the activity that the Giants have had in free agency. I know a couple of nights ago you said, well, so far they've done okay, not great. But like Golston from the Cowboys, that's a nice replacement for Azeez Ojulari, I think. And I really like that young safety. I can't remember his exact name.
Javon Holland. Oh, Paulson Adebo.
That's it. I really like that from what I read about him. That he's a good sized physical corner and a ball hawk. He can play one side of the field and not the side, and the other side of the field.
Press man coverage. Yeah, supposedly there's good numbers that have been put out there on him, and a lot of people are thinking he's going to be good in this system.
Yes, thank you. So I really like the activity, and the analogy I was going to give, it's kind of a little bit of far out, but if you ever saw the movie Pearl Harbor, and Ben Affleck is shot down when he's flying for the British, and he's shot down and he's in the scene, it looks like he's drowned, and his nurse girlfriend winds up going with his best pal, Danny, and comes back to find out that she's married Danny. And she's apologizing to him. She thought he was dead. She thought he would never make it. And he says, that's all right. Having the possibility of coming back for you is what got me through. That's what let me survive. So,
wow.
Go ahead.
What movie is this? I didn't see that movie.
Oh, man. I'm a baby boomer. And my dad served in World War II in the Pacific. So it's a meaningful movie to me. But I thought, in my opinion, it's a really good movie if you ever get a chance to see it. But I forget that the guy who plays Danny, is also a good actor. Danny, I can't quite remember his name. But Ben Affleck is the main actor. Anyway, I was going to say, you had mentioned, I heard earlier in the broadcast, you were saying the Giants are possibly being so active to attract Aaron Rodgers to want to sign with the Giants because, they'll be an upgraded team. So I was going to say, regardless, even if he signs with Pittsburgh, he may have done the Giants, he would have done the Giants a favor because I think they've well upgraded their offense and they got a rotational tackle, which they needed. And it looks good to me. It's your turn.
Yeah, I'm following the Giants' moves. It seems like there was a real effort for defense, right? So in the tracker, they have Paulson Adebo at corner, who we've already spoken about, Roy Robertson Harris at DT. We've also talked about Chauncey Goldston from the Dallas Cowboys, who definitely, in my opinion, I think can be better than Azeez Ojulari, and you put him on that defense with Dexter Lawrence, and like I can see it. And then Chris Board at linebacker. Those are the defensive moves that they made early on. But then bringing back Darius Slayton, which I understand the money. Everybody's looking at the money and they're saying that's the money that they should have paid Saquon. They paid Darius Slayton that. He's one of the longest tenured guys. He's Mr. Reliable, consistent. He's nice to the media. He's a good locker room guy. And I think they put an emphasis on that and their culture because of what they heard about the guys that have departed and how their locker room lacked those type of people. He wanted to be there. They wanted him to be there. They paid him. Javon Holland is a name I haven't said yet. I do want to play some audio from him. I will always remember Javon Holland, and so will Jets fans, because the Fail Mary or whatever they called that. I mean, I know they came up with names for it on Black Friday when that guy returned the ball 100 yards for a touchdown, the biggest play of his life in MetLife. He returns to play his home games in MetLife with the Giants. I think he can be better than Jason Pinnock, who we learned Jason Pinnock today is a free agent, or yesterday now. And I forget who he's signing with. 49ers. 1-year deal with the 49ers. So they're working. They're doing some things. We're just not going to be able to see it on Hard Knocks. And I think they obviously have more to do in the draft, and it's a huge draft. And there's also more to do as far as, I don't think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, but is it going to be Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston? Or I think Sean Morash suggested Gardner Minshew today. And then I saw a video of Gardner Minshew working out today. And I'm like, hell no, do not bring Gardner Minshew here. He was working out to Creed. Can you take me higher? He just like, he comes off like he wants to be like in the Napoleon Dynamite movies or something. He's a character. He's a clown. The Cowboys probably won't re-sign him. Their plan is to draft a young quarterback to develop and have as the backup. And Cooper Rush has been here with the Giants before. They should bring him in, but they don't want him to be the starter. Thanks for the call, Jeff. Whoever they bring in as the veteran quarterback is going to play while the young guy, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, maybe Jackson Dart. But, you know, as Jeff's call started, when he called me, I guess a week or two ago, he said that he played at Ohio State. I said, no, he played at Ole Miss. And lately what I've been saying about Jackson Dart is if you take him at 3, he might be a good Ole Miss. Tim is in West Orange. Tim, you're on the Fan.
Hey, Keith, how you doing tonight?
Good, you know, watching Yankee Encore now, getting more into the NFL conversation away from Brian Cashman's wait-and-see approach.
I love you listening on the Fan. You bring some love to the Devils broadcast. I love that you're really interested in the Devils. But I wanted to talk about the Giants, and I don't want Aaron Rodgers to be the quarterback for the Giants next year. But I was wondering what you thought about bringing in a guy like Russell Wilson and then drafting a Cam Ward or a Jackson Dart, or even the kid from Syracuse later in the 4th round, McCord, I think his name.
Yeah, Kyle McCord.
Yeah, and he had some great numbers at Syracuse.
I know.
He could be worth a flyer.
He's a competitor.
To pair with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I forget which game it was. Maybe against Georgia Tech that I watched him ball. I got to go look at some of his numbers. Yeah, somebody's going to get him late, and he's going to come in and compete. Thanks for the call, Tim. Yeah, and let's go Devils, man. I got to get back over to the Rock. I'm just so busy now. And, you know, now I'm a Red Bulls fan, Yankee fan. I haven't gone to one Nets game. I wish I knew the kid who was talking to me about the Nets. I wish I knew his name today at the school. And he's like, how do we do this right now? How do we be Nets fans? I'm like, not actively. You passively watch the Nets. Even tonight, I knew the Nets weren't going to win that game. It was cool to see Cam Thomas cook. What was he, 6 for 7 in the second quarter? Cam Thomas had 14 points. Oh, they're not going to beat them. Even without Donovan Mitchell, like it was the same thing with OKC. The upper echelon teams in the NBA will let the Nets go on their runs. And then when they want to turn it on and shut them down, they shut them down and win the game. 888-808-1019. But yeah, back to the Giants quarterback situation where, you know, we were there. I think that they bring in Russell Wilson because they have rapport with him. He was there last year. He stopped there briefly, and they told him, yeah, we're going with Daniel Jones. And he's like, oh, come on, bro. Really? The kid out of Duke? I went to NC State. Like, nah. If you're going with Daniel Jones, you're not even going to give me the chance to come in and compete and beat him out, then I'm going to go to Pittsburgh. They got a better culture, a better chance of winning, probably beat out whoever they bring in. Oh, Justin Fields, sure. Russell Wilson, Ciara, they were just at like the Grammys. No, they were they at the Oscars or something like that? They were at whatever was more recent. I think it was the Oscars. I'm like, why are they at the Oscars? Because they're famous, because they're rich. Like Russell Wilson's career earnings, his career earnings are up there. As I talk about Daniel Jones being one of the richest backups when it's all said and done. Russell Wilson and Ciara together have so much bread. They are celebrities. They are influencers. I'm blanking on the term. Like they're socialites, right? It's Sierra and Russell Wilson. So you bring him in to the bright lights of New York City for a year. He'll give you decent quarterback play. He'll get the ball to Malik Neighbors. He'll hand the ball to Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, he'll be corny. Yeah, he's just got this weird, like he's not cool, but he tries to like pose like he's cool. He's like not naturally swaggy. You could tell he's trying to be swag. He's trying to like have the aura. Like Sierra almost kind of looks like she dresses him up and props him up to be this cool dad, this cool guy. But he's not it. You can hear it in his voice. Like you're not like that. You're not that guy, buddy. But he can still play a little bit. You bring him in here and you draft Cam Ward. But you got to trade up to get Cam Ward. And I'm kind of against that. The more I think about it, the more I'm just like, nah, you had the first overall pick and you decided that beating the Colts was more important than having the number 1 overall pick. So like when you chose your own fate, choose your own adventure right there, stick with it. You chose to give up the number 1 overall pick. So draft the quarterback you want at 3 or trade back from 3. Don't trade up. Don't give up more picks, more assets into next year to move up to get Cam Ward, because everybody's saying that this is not a lot. You know, this draft class, we can't be so sure of, right? If this draft class of quarterbacks, like everyone's saying, look at this free agency with the quarterbacks, look at this run on quarterbacks and free agency. That tells you everything about these quarterbacks coming in the draft. Well, then the Giants would be fools to trade up for Cam Ward, and then next year's got a better crop of quarterbacks, and they're not going to win that many games this year. I think a lot of us are putting the number out there like 7 or 8 would be a good win total for the Giants this year. Then don't give up what you got to give up to get Cam Ward. Stay at 3 and take Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur Sanders and Russ would be good. Shedeur Sanders and Russ, I think, would be good in that quarterback room with Tommy DeVito. I could see it now. 888-808-1019. We got to take a break. Lane, you'll be first up. We'll talk Jets. We'll talk Giants. I see calls coming in on Jets and Giants. Now that we're talking more football and NFL free agency and what's going to go on here and what's not going to go on here as we try to project into the 2025 NFL season. I will get the cut from Javon Holland, and we'll play that when we come back. Fleegs will have it set up. So dial 888-808-1019 if you want to get on the line. This is Keith McPherson on The Fan. We'll be right back. Cool. You were like zombie. You were like, it happens. You just forgot because it was probably what, 5, 6 a.m. You're like, I know this is my thought, but I don't remember verbalizing this on air for Jarvis in Harlem. I'm hazy like that too, bro. This morning I was up doing a PowerPoint. And I had a presentation to do at a school, and I specifically got up to proofread the PowerPoint. Then I got there, I had the date wrong. I had a letter. I'm like in the morning, I'm just fuzzy. Like I'm not as like my cognitive functions are not there because of all of these nights of being up till 4 a.m. There, you can't just flip a switch one day. Even if you sleep the night before, you can't just switch to be your like awake self. Oh yeah. Yeah. So long. You were blacked out. Okay, Chad, I've been ignoring you. I got to get back. My bad, yo. My bad. Let's see. Where are we at? Yeah, Mark was basically telling you all the facts. More factoids. Let's see. Vladdy wanting 15 years, 600 million is wild. Yeah, I don't know if he's getting that from Toronto or anybody, honestly. Oh, I gave the tour. Katie said 10 out of 10 tour. What are all the stickers on your water bottle from? This walk-off sticker, it's kind of just like graffiti type shit. Like, that's from my guy, Mr. Anderson, Peter Anderson, Yankee glasses. You'll see him in section 203. Bleacher Creatures, 203. Terror Squad is an off branch of the Bleacher Creatures in the Fresh Direct Terrace. You can find us there. Jersey Fest is from this same company. They actually have a Jersey Fest coming up. Greetings from the Garden State. They have a Jersey Fest Part 2 coming up May 17th. I was on stage last year helping host that. The Jordan logo, when you buy Jordans, come with the shoes. Jack Daniels. This is like a patch logo. Some dum-dums saw me drinking out of this and they went on Reddit or something and they're like, Keith McPherson is drunk. He's drinking at work. I'm like, are you an idiot? I got to drive home. I live in Jersey. Like, I have a baby. Like, I'm not drunk. If I was drunk, you would know I was drunk. If I was drunk, I'll tell you I was drunk. I don't think I've ever been drunk and not told people I'm drunk. Anyway, Jersey, Stay Jersey Co. Shout out to Stay Jersey Co. Apple, when you get a MacBook or an iPhone, that comes with it. This is from NJ Skate Shop logo. And this walk-off sticker is from Rotorwear. This Play Frank sticker. We're done with the Play Frank. That's why I covered it up, but that's from Bald Vinny. The 4 line under there. Shout out to the 4 line guys, but I'm not repping the 4 line because it's too close to the 7 line and nobody calls it the 4 line. They call it the 4 train. And this is from Shop Gold. When you get like, I don't even have my Shop Gold stuff. This didn't come from Shop Gold, but you know, they have some stuff in there. This baseball sticker came from Homage as well, or from Rotorwear, and then Homage. They send me some of my shirts and stuff. So yeah, it's just like everybody has a Stanley, but nobody's got one like this. Just, you know, art, creativity. I'm like that. If anyone can handle the circus that comes with Rodgers, it's Tomlin. I guess so. DeAndre Hopkins has agreed. Yep. The Colts don't want Richardson. Daniel Jones is an upgrade. Facts. Sanders not running at all. New York Giants can't go there. Just saying. He's not going to run the ball. And they're not going to call runs for him. They need to fix that offensive line, make sure that offensive line is good. And he's not going to play this year anyway if they get Russell Wilson. I think they might have to do that. Are you going to opening day? I haven't missed opening day since 2015. Yeah. Great pickup for the Jets getting Justin Fields. Him together with Garrett Wilson, I think, can shock many and they can make the playoffs. I agree. Yo, shout out to Gabe. Gabe on the edits. Gabe, you probably saw me posting. I'm about to let me hit Gabe right now with something right quick. All right, we're coming back from commercial. Gabe, though, I'm gonna holler at you if you're still up, still watching. Yes, sir. Still here on the Fan in New York. 888-808-1019 if you want to talk sports. We're talking the football now. We're talking about the Jets and the Giants and what the Jets and the Giants have done and will do in this free agency as we get closer to pro days and the NFL draft. I said Lane would be first in Valley Stream. Lane, what's up? You're on the Fan. It's late, man. It happens. I'm fried. I'm Keith. You're Lane. Yeah, we'll go. So what? Yeah, what's up, Lane? Fliegelman is all the way a Jets fan, and I'll let him speak for himself. Go ahead.
Mike, I wanted to put up 40 plus and embarrass the Jets. Jarvis was right. He heard me with Jerry.
I'm not rooting for that, but guess what? We know what's going to happen. You know, he's going to throw 4 touchdowns and embarrass us. We're Jets fans. We expect it, but I can't root for that. Come on, dude. You're better than that, bro.
Well, it just seems like the next part of the movie, right? Like it seems like he goes over there. He's another year removed from the Achilles, right? And like now he's not gun shy. And in their Arthur Smith offense, like I don't know, it just seems like that's going to happen. It didn't work with the Jets, but then it works with the Steelers, and the Steelers actually win like 11 or 12 games and get to the playoffs. And I'm ready for it.
All right, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to finish. And do you go to the gym by any chance and play basketball?
Me? Not recently. Why? You thought you saw me hooping somewhere?
Oh, no, because we're just, I go to LA Fitness in Weathertown, and I said a hygiene question real quick. Like, we have this tournament, right? 64 of us, and we play basketball, and we're like almost the NCAA basketball, right? 1 versus 16, and 2 versus 15, and we kind of grade each other based on our, you know, how we play. So I'm the 8 seed, right? I got to go versus the 1 seed, so I beat the 9 seed 10, shout out to Seth easily, but I got to play the 1 seed, right? Here's my problem with the 1 seed. His name is Bobby. Bobby, if you're listening, I'm sorry, I love you. This guy, have you ever smelled rotten potatoes, Keith?
No, but go on.
All right, so rotten potatoes is the second worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. The first is Bobby. So my question, I spray this guy with Mando before I play him, with some butter, make him smell better, or do I just grind it out, wait till a win?
So I have a rule. If I can smell you, I'm gonna tell you. Have you told him?
No, I know. And I hang out with this guy outside of, he doesn't smell like when we're outside hanging out. Vintage Jeff, you know, I've gone to check in, he doesn't smell. But what happens is, like, we work out before we play basketball. You know, so we do it again, or whatever you do. Lift weights, you run. So we're all sweating like animals, right? And I smell a little bit too, but Bobby just smell a level, bro. And like, how do you know Team C didn't even show up when he had to play him? And
Because of the stench?
it was because he smelled.
He's like, no, I can't have that smell in my nose.
Dude, if I post this guy up, I might vomit. I'm serious. Like, I wouldn't even know what to do with that. Like, honestly.
Nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it because, like, that smell, if it's that bad, that stays with you all day. You might not be able to eat later.
Yeah.
But have the conversation with him, because you're having the conversation with me and everyone listening. If I can smell you, I'm gonna tell you. You should tell him, like, bro, you need better soap.
Harrison, bro, he smelled for years. And all I said, only at the gym. Like, we go out, he puts his Mando on or whatever he puts on, he smells fine. But at the gym, he sweats so much that maybe he's using deodorant and that's the other stuff that, you know, stops sweat. I don't know what he's doing, bro. It's bad, Keith. It's bad. If you never smell rotten potatoes, do yourself a favor.
That's not. I'll do myself a favor and not try and get into that.
I want you to experience the smell out because it's 10 times worse than rotten potatoes.
I'm in New York. I've been on the subway. There's enough rotten potatoes. Thanks for the call, man. There's enough humans that smell like rotten potatoes on the subway, on the streets. You know, the gym is interesting. I have a gym in my building, and I love the gym in my building now. But there are 2 human beings that when they enter the gym in my building, I will leave. I will literally leave and go upstairs. I'll do some push-ups upstairs. I'll do some sit-ups upstairs because they stink up the entire gym. One is a girl, and she's kind of heavy set. And I even talked to my wife. I'm like, ugh. Like, she gets on the treadmill, and within 3 minutes of her being on the treadmill, it starts to reek in there. And I'm like, yo, there's no way Big Mama's smelling up the gym like this. Like, it's so funky. It's so bad. I'm just looking at her like, what the hell? Like, how do you come into the gym smelling that bad off the rip, like 3 minutes in? I can understand if you put in a 30-minute workout hour. And there's this other dude in my gym. When he first came in, I had to check him because he came into the gym no shoes on. I've worked at 2 gyms, and like, I don't know, there's no gym in the world where you're allowed to work out barefoot. And so I said something to him like, yo, I mean, you got to have some sneakers on. He's like, what? And I'm like, you're in here working out with no sneakers on. 1, I can smell your feet, or maybe you just smell. 2, like, that's a hazard. And like, there's nobody in this gym because it's an apartment gym. There's nobody like that works at this gym to tell you to put sneakers on, but like I'm telling you, you got to put sneakers on, bro. Or like, do I have to like alert the upstairs people, the people that run the gym, like or run the apartment? He ended up putting his sneakers on, but then I ended up seeing him again with sneakers on, and I caught a waff of his smell. I'm like, oh no, you just a funky dude. You just smell like off the, like maybe that's your armpits, maybe that's just your regular BO. It's not your feet. When I first got a waff of your stench, I thought it came from your feet. That is just your regular smell. I go in the gym, I haven't broken a sweat yet. I have on deodorant, cologne. I've showered. But you know what? There's levels to all this too. Now I'm going off on a tangent, and that's fine, right? We can't just talk sports. We got to talk about real life stuff. If I can smell you, I'm going to tell you. I have one friend I'm waiting to tell, and he's a young guy, and I just know that, like, he's young, and sometimes young people don't realize as you get older, when you're a kid, you don't need deodorant as much. But as you get older, you can't just do one tap of you got to lather on the deodorant for the long haul for the day, because you're going to sweat through that one layer. And I want to tell him, like, bro, like I can smell your pits. Like, I know that's your armpits, bro. And like, I don't know how to deliver it to him in a way. Like, I want to be nice because I know he kind of like is like admires me and like respects me. And I don't want to come off as like but like, it's not a mean thing. I don't want to come off as a jerk, but I'm not being a jerk. Like, this is for your own good. I'm trying to help you. You might be around some baddies and wonder why they're not coming your way because they get ill. Or you might be in a work setting somewhere else and it makes a bad impression. Oh yeah, he came in, I could smell him. I literally, like, I have worked on the right kinds of soaps, and I know a lot about colognes. Yo, shout out to Polo Ralph Lauren, who sent me a whole box in here at WFAN. It had a pineapple, and then it had their new cologne that Aaron Judge is advertising. I got to put a whole video together and thank him for that. I'm in the market for some new cologne. I wear Prada. Prada's got very good cologne. I've been wearing Prada for years. Before that, I was wearing Dolce. And I forget even going further back what I wore, but I went from Dolce to Prada. I have studied the art of smell good. Scent is so tied to how we like remember people, what we think of people. I always smell good. When people smell bad, I feel bad for them because I think they just can't smell themselves. So I want to like gift somebody, yo, here's some good deodorant. Like this is $9 deodorant, not the $3 John. Like here's a $9 deodorant. Use it. It'll help. Here's a sample of some really good cologne. Like my mom used to work at Lord & Taylor, and she used to come home with a ton of samples. I used to give them to the homies. The homies, another pet peeve of mine, and 888-808-1019. We'll get back to the NFL conversation and the quarterbacks and stuff, but this is a good tangent for the middle of the night. When you're with the homies, guys night or squad, whatever, and they smell your cologne, yo, let me use your cologne. I'm like, bro, I can't. What do you mean you can't? Like, we're not going anywhere where you and I smell the same. I'll give you a hit of a sample I have or something else, but you're not wearing the Dolce or the Prada cologne that I have, because like I'm going to smell like that. We're not going to smell like that together. Oh, why are you being like that, bro? Yeah, what's up with me? Why are you being like that? Why don't you have your own cologne? Why do you need to pilfer off of mine? 888-808-1019. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Smelling good all day, in the gym included, at work, at the bar, at the club, like that's an important thing. And if you have friends that let you be funky around them, that let you stink up the place, they're not your real friends, man. They're not your real friends. And there's a way to tell somebody. It's one thing to be like, hey, you smell like. No, it's another thing to kind of quietly tap somebody and be like, hey, bro, if I can smell you, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm telling you right now, like I can smell you. You need some help with that? I got some toiletries. I got some things we could do. You might not be using the right soap. Don't get the cheap the cheap soap that you bought. You bought some Suave soap. It's not gonna do it, buddy. It's not gonna do it. Dave is in Manhattan. Dave, you're on the fan.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Thanks for having me on. I want to bounce something off of you, and I've been bouncing it off a few people for a while now. I want to get your opinion. I saw an article back in 2018. It said the rise and fall of Geno Smith. You can Google it. Very interesting article. Kuiper was in there talking about how the Chiefs at that time didn't even have him listed as a player that they wanted. And here we are later, where this guy's thrown for, he's fourth in the NFL in passing, threw for over 4,000 yards. He had some interceptions, but basically was a guy given an opportunity and brought into a system with Carroll where he got coached up and was able to show the world what he can do. I think there's not enough people calling out the lack of coaching ability in the NFL. I don't know if it's because we have coaches who never strapped it on or not, but I see a lot of talented players all running 4.5s, 4.3s, 4.6s, bench pressing like crazy. And then they go to the NFL and it's like someone throws them in a meat grinder. Don't you think that a lot of the coaching in the NFL is fugazi and is not being called out by the media?
Yeah, they're so quick to throw these players under the bus. I mean, Sam Darnold and Geno Smith are both great cases to be studied anyway. The Jets, we know, never have coaching. The Jets, we know, have ruined quarterbacks. I was on the other night saying, you got to have an eye on Zach Wilson. You got to. We can't throw him in the garbage.
And I'll say this and let other callers get on. I found Zach Wilson going to Miami deal a bit of an eyebrow raiser because there's an injury-prone quarterback who might be one hit away from having to retire. And there's a lot of talent, a lot of receiver talent that Zach Wilson's never played for, had at his disposal his whole life. And let me tell you something. If he becomes any modicum of success in Miami, I think a lot of owners are going to really start to reevaluate, especially if him and Justin Fields become successful. Because that whole class to be just now.
Yeah.
Have to take account of who they're hiring. Because the coaches get millions, and then they bounce to another organization because it's kind of a good old boys club. No one ever really gets written off unless they're as bad as Adam Gase or some other coach where they're just like, no, we can't give you, or the guy who follows Aaron Rodgers around. You have to be awful and show tremendous incompetency to get removed from the NFL. All right, I'm going to wrap that up. Thanks for letting me vent. I'd love to know if you have any more thoughts.
Oh, yeah, you queued me up perfectly, Dave. Thanks for that. So Zach Wilson going to Miami, I started thinking about that. 1-year deal, not much money. Like, let me go back to my notes from yesterday to see Zach Wilson's like 1 year, $6 million. 1 year, $6 million, fully guaranteed deal that could grow up to $10 million. So there are probably incentives in case he does end up taking over for Tua and throwing for an amount of touchdowns and yards. With Tyreek Hill, with Jalen Waddle, with Jonnu Smith, with Devin Achane in the backfield, who knows who they're going to draft. Let's talk about the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, who might be on the hot seat. And if Tua goes down again, like, they can't go to Skylar Thompson. They can't go to Snoop Hunley. They can't go to Mike White. They're going to Zach Wilson, who's still very young. And as we're talking about Geno Smith, and if you've listened to me, I told you that I used to work with Geno Smith only for 3 months. But when I worked at Rock Nation, I did digital marketing for Rock Nation Sports, specifically the NFL clients. And what I remember about talking to Geno about his Instagram and Twitter was that he did not care. And if you remember, Geno was here in New York, and Geno was with the Jets, and then he was with the Giants, and he had that little falling out. He got punched in the face, and then he also had the benching of Eli and him being the guy, and he wore some of that, even though that was Ben McAdoo. Okay, 2018, he's with the Chargers, and he's out there, and I remember him saying to me, I don't care about growing my brand on social media. Like, I'm not so worried about like how people view me on social media. He's like, I'm working on my game. Like, if I put in the time and work on my game, that will grow my name and my brand more than any post and tweets. And I understood it so much as a former football player, but at the time my profession was social media digital marketing, where I had to be like, nah, we need to get you some deals and we need to grow your numbers and get people to like know your personality, whatever. So if you're following me, that's when he was with the Chargers. And then he ends up going to Seattle, and he actually is with Russell Wilson, but then they move on from Russell Wilson. And Say what you want about Geno. Some people think he's mid. They don't think they can win with him. Geno can throw the ball. He can run a little bit. And now he's getting paid. And I think he's going to be good with the Raiders, with Pete Carroll, with Chip Kelly. And say what you want about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's another guy that was here with the Jets. Oh, he's a bust. He's terrible. 2 years in Carolina. He was a backup in San Francisco behind Brock Purdy. He had a chip on his shoulder, goes to Minnesota, beats them, and then says something along the lines like they should have never cut me. Now he's getting money to go to the Seahawks, getting his $37 million, made $100 million off this year. These are two guys that were on the same Jets team. These are two guys that were drafted by the Jets that the Jets could not draft and develop, but they end up being two of the top quarterbacks in this draft class. And that's where I go back to Zach Wilson, saying I have an eye on Zach Wilson. I'm not writing him off completely. He was just with Sean Payton. He just saw a rookie come in and Bo Nix have Sean Payton and have success. He didn't have success as a rookie. He didn't have a Sean Payton. He didn't have a quarterback room like they had. And so now he leaves Denver, and who does he join? Mike McDaniel. Where's Mike McDaniel from? The 49ers. The 49ers thought that Trey Lance was going to be the guy in their system to really get things going and, was the model of quarterback that they wanted so much that they made a ton of moves to take him at 3, and he was a bust. But whatever. They ended up drafting Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, who they're about to back up the Brinks truck for. And there was a word out there about how Brock Purdy is what the Jets and Rob Saleh, who came from the same San Francisco tree, Brock Purdy is what they thought Zach Wilson could be. And what does Mike McDaniel do with his quarterbacks? He's not like Brian Flores was with Tua. Before he even met Tua, there was a video that the Dolphins put out where he's on a plane flying to Miami telling Tua, yeah, this is going to be great. You're great. Like, this is all going to work. I can't wait to get in the lab with you. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to figure. Mike McDaniel's going to massage Zach Wilson's ego and his shoulders and say, you got it, man. You're right here. You got the arm strength. You got the athleticism. You got the experience. Like, you're going to be ready to go. Will he be able to do it on the field? Will it translate? I don't know. But Tua, I remember I had a rap this past year. I said being out was Tua's pastime. Tua's always out. He's always hurt. He's either concussed or something. He's not that big of a body. When he goes down and Zach Wilson goes in, if Zach Wilson is more effective than Mike White or Snoop Huntley and can throw the ball to Tyreek and Waddle and Jonnu Smith, watch out, bro. I can see it. Mike McDaniel's going to have him ready. Mike McDaniel's going to have Zach Wilson ready to go with the Miami Dolphins, and that could come around. We're talking about the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers putting up 40. Imagine Zach Wilson coming back for payback, and then next year's draft class, Zach Wilson is in the mix with the free agents, and somebody pays Zach Wilson to be the guy. 888-808-1019. 1 hour left. Keith McPherson on the Fan. Call us up. We'll be right back. I thought you were Rami. I'm like, Rami said something to me. I'm like, the caller was saying, I'm like, they I hate when they do that. Like, caller is blabbing and then they talk over. I'm like, I can't do both. All of those guys that I named under 30 are good football players. Now they actually have some coaches. You had Zach. They have
conditions from members of the law enforcement community. Many officers have been seriously injured by these dangerous conditions. Decolator Cullen DePrisco has brought numerous successful lawsuits on behalf of police officers injured by the negligence of property owners failing to keep their premises free from snow and ice. Examples of these results are featured on their website, policeofficersrighttosuit.com. If a member of the law enforcement community is injured as a result of a property owner's failure to keep snow and ice from their premises, contact DCW.
Yes, we got off on a tangent about body odor and people smelling. I got an hour worth of chats to get through. Let's see if there's anything worth bringing back to the surface. Brian Cashman, no. Ravens, D-Hop, Aaron Rodgers would be doing himself a disservice signing with a team with question marks over the O-line. Why put himself through that again? I remember that call too. You remember the call where Jeff from Louisiana was like, "Oh yeah, Ohio State." I'm like, he played at Ole Miss, and he was like, he cut me off like, "Let me finish." I'm like, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm correcting you for the audience. Jackson Dart didn't play at Ohio State. He played at Ole Miss. You got it, bro. You got it. I just try. If I ever say something wrong, correct me. If a caller says something that's not factually correct, I correct you right away. It's pretty simple. Gardner Minshew, aka Uncle Rico. That's what he reminds me of. Don't trade up. Don't trade back. Stay at 3. Draft the best player available. Sure, but you do need to draft a quarterback. So if that's the case, if you're not using your first pick on a quarterback, there's a chance that in the first round, Cam Ward is gone, Shador is gone, Jackson Dart is gone, maybe Quinn Ewers. You're going to draft Jalen Milroe in the second round? Yeah, send me one, bro. Send me one. Send me one. All right, I'm all good on the chat. Cleared up on the chat. I got too many tabs open. But yeah, you like my Zach Wilson proposition? Watch Zach Wilson still be trash. But I just think that he's in a spot where he's gonna get a chance to play if he is the backup. Which why wouldn't he be the backup? Tua's gonna get hurt, and he's gonna get a chance to play. And Mike McDaniels is the type of coach that is going to, massage his ego and be nice, and he might get the best out of him. So when we come back, we got to play the Javon Holland audio. And, I got to talk about that clip of Juan Soto. Bro. Like, Soto is the type of guy, like, you heckling him. Like, he hit the ball to this guy. Like, the guy heckling him in right field, he gets up and hits a home run that embarrasses this guy. The ball goes off his hands, and the guy falls back, and, like, you're forever wasted on the internet. You look like an absolute clown. This guy should be banned from the ballpark. Where else are we? The payrolls. Like, I'm so tired talking about payroll and luxury tax, and it doesn't matter. We're talking about these rich ass owners, these rich ass teams, and we're the ones nickel and diamond. They're not doing that. We're the ones. Oh well, why can't they? Well, if it's here, it's 110%. Why can't they bring on, like, they've already done their number crunching. They've done their taxes. They're ready. We're going to see JT Brubaker start. We're going to see Carlos Carrasco start. We're going to see Alan Winans. Who else did they mention? Be prepared. Regardless, any season, you're going to see 10 different starters anyway, because guys get hurt, guys go on the IL, guys are called up for spot starts. Now without Cole, who, like, I mean, not last year, but any other year, Cole makes his starts. Like, Cole pitches. Cole's available. You lose Garrett Cole. Who else you putting in the rotation that consistent and reliable? No one. Don't lose Max Fried.
Good morning at 1 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Steelers or Giants? Maybe the Vikings. That appears to be what Aaron Rodgers is thinking. According to reports, it's not a money issue, but a better fit issue. Russell Wilson still looked at as a backup for both the Giants and the Steelers. As the Giants continue to wheel and deal to fix this roster while possibly convincing Rodgers to come aboard, they land former Dolphins safety Javon Holland 3 years, $45 million. Brian Cashman spoke for the first time, explaining the different avenues the Yankees can explore trying to fill the loss of Garrett Cole. Is courtesy of Yes. Rangers remain 2 points back in the final playoff spot after they fell to the Jets 2-1, their fourth straight loss as they continue to miss chances. Islanders trailing the Kings 3-1, still 4.5 minutes remaining there. Devils race the Blue Jackets 5-3, snap a 3-game skid, and the Cavs made it 15 straight wins down in the Nets 109-104 behind 30 points from Darius Garland. 54 degrees, clear skies, Central Park, and that's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Yo, 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 yo. Let's go. Your boy KM back on the radio. 888-808-1019. Okay, a couple things I want to do here. We'll get back to the conversation around the Jets, around the Giants, around the NFL free agency, football. I do want to play the Jevon Holland audio. Jevon Holland signed the deal with the Giants, 3 years, $45 million, $30 million in guarantees. Jevon Holland, Jets return on YouTube. I'm trying to pull that up. Jevon Holland, unreal 100-yard pick six off a Hail Mary. I think that was in his mind, and he's like, you know what? I think I'd like to play in New Jersey. But Jevon Holland had a piece of audio floating around from a podcast that he did that I ended up catching today, and I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. So Jevon Holland had a list of things he was looking for in his next team, leaving the Miami Dolphins. Fleegs, let's play what new Giants safety Jevon Holland was looking for, and then we'll go over that after.
Wrote down and like the best way I could sum up, what I'm looking for. Detailed and experienced coaching, a player supportive ownership, just honest culture setting, a men leading head coach with a goal and a standard he holds everybody to. A team that wants to win and has players with like-mindedness about the team's goals and standards, leaders that want to lead and set examples by action, not by the word. So I think that in itself is, what I'm really looking for. Not necessarily saying that it's not as a Dolphin, but in general, that's like my mindset for.
So Amani Toomer, what are you talking about? Amani Toomer, all that stuff you said about Joe Schoen and the Giants? Jevon Holland said he was looking for a detailed, experienced head coach that's a leader of men, an honest culture, and a team that wants to win. He picked the G-Men. Amani Toomer, stop hating. Amani Toomer said that, Joe Schoen is turning players off. And, players aren't looking at the Giants as a appealing destination anymore. They see a sinking ship and that he's seen enough of Joe Schoen. Well, you're not going to play for Joe Schoen. Anyway, 888-808-1019. Shout out to my boy Ben that sends me some notes and stuff too. Is this true? Puka Nacua has changed his number from 17 to 12 so Devontae Adams can take the number 17. I love Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is such a good football player, but he seems like such a good human and like a sports fan. Like the way that he turned into a kid when he met LeBron, and then his girlfriend puts out content of him like watching LeBron highlights on his phone, and then he lives in LA. The Lakers obviously host him, let him come behind the scenes to the locker room, whatever. He literally looked like a little kid getting to meet LeBron. The way that he respects LeBron, you got to look that video up. Like Puka Nacua meeting LeBron. YouTube, it comes up right away. He turned into a child meeting LeBron. And this is one of the best receivers in the league. This guy broke records his rookie year. And he turned into a 10-year-old boy seeing the GOAT, seeing the greatest overall basketball player we've ever seen. Yeah, I know Jordan is a killer. Black Jesus, MJ, championships. Who else would you want? Clutch with the game on the line. LeBron James is the overall best player we've ever seen enter the NBA. And we don't need to get into the back and forth because you can't convince me. LeBron James is still adding to it. LeBron's not done. He could add to it again this year. And I'm not just talking rings. I'm talking whatever he does this year. There is no more decorated player than LeBron James. There isn't. He's a billionaire, and he's 40. He's still hooping like. Don't tell me. I love Jordan too. I'm wearing Jordans right now. I came into NBA and sports rooting for Michael Jordan, but what LeBron has done from St. Vincent to St. You cannot tell. There's nobody else. His resume is untouchable. It's ridiculous. Nobody can stack pound for pound next to LeBron. He don't need to win another championship. Just the fact that he won one championship, just the fact that he beat the Warriors. He told you that. He said that makes me the greatest of all time. That he beat the 73-9 Warriors team. Bron. Jason is in upstate New York on the Fan. What's up, Jason?
Okay, how you doing? I just want to talk about one thing. That's the Jets draft. First of all, I'm real happy that they got Justin Fields. I thought he was the best available option after Glenn Rogers, but I'm hoping that they drafted Jalen Walker out of Georgia. He's pass rusher, and he won the Buckers Award, and I think the Jets need more defensive. They need pass rushers,
Yeah, I could see it. I also could see them sticking with Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson coming back. Jalen Walker is a beast.
Exactly, that's what Jermaine Johnson and the other guy, yeah.
But Jalen Walker could be better than both of them. And I know Jermaine Johnson's coming back from an injury. We don't know if he's going to be ready to go. You draft Jalen Walker, he plays right away. He's a starter day one.
Right. And then, don't forget Quincy Williams is a good player too.
Yep, he'll be starting as well. You add him on the defense. They're both tackling machines.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I just hoping, I'm a long time Jets fan. I'm going back to when they headed up on Marino,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping that the losing is over, And this debacle with Aaron Rodgers, it was real sad. But hoping Aaron Glenn.
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Thanks for the call, Jason. I don't know. I'm hoping that this is the turning point. I'm hoping that Aaron Glenn is a former Jet that comes in, changes the franchise. Muji as a GM. I'm hoping that these guys right the ship. I want to go to games over there. It sucks going to MetLife. At least can the game be worth the hassle of the trip? 888-808-1019. And I live in Hoboken, Jersey City. I get there in 20 minutes. I still don't want to go over there because once you go over there with 50,000 people, it's chaos. Can we at least get some good games? Can we at least get some competitive games? Can we at least have some primetime games where it's not over in the first half? I think they can do it. So looking at tankathon.com, tankathon.com has Armand Membu, the offensive tackle out of Missouri, going to the Jets at 7. Just a day ago, I was on, and they had Teteroa McMillan. Why are they thinking that the Jets won't draft Teteroa McMillan and they're going to go offensive tackle? Because they need someone to replace Morgan Moses. I think you can do that. And I guess they haven't done it in free agency, but I think you could do that in later rounds too. Maybe you want to just take the best tackle off the board, because if the Jets draft the tackle at 7, that's the first tackle coming off the board. I don't know, though. It's not sexy enough. You drafted Olu Fashanu last year. Draft a receiver. And I see a lot of Jets fans talking about no draft Tyler Warren. I'm with that too. I think this Tyler Warren kid is coming in. He's going to wreck stuff. I think he's coming in. He's going to be a monster. He's going to be a problem. This kid is 6'6", 260. If you saw him at Penn State, he's going to translate in the NFL. And the Jets pass up on Brock Bowers. I guess it would be a little bit of a reach no, Tankathon has The Dolphins taking Tyler Warren? Why? Jonnu Smith is with the Jonnu Smith had a great year. Jonnu Smith helped me a ton in fantasy. I scooped him that first week. I scooped him off waivers that first week he started to get going, and he had some big games down the stretch. Helped me in fantasy this year for sure. If Jonnu Smith is there, why do they need to draft? Because they got rid of Durham Smythe? I don't know. I think that Tankathon is not great anyway. Can't base that as a why. Like their biggest need is not tight end for the Dolphins. They need help on defense. 888-808-1019. Where else did I want to go here? Now I'm just thinking about like Tankathon changes and why do they change? Why do they switch? Like what information are they getting? Shedeur Sanders on Tankathon.com. Shedeur Sanders goes at number 3 to the Giants. Cam Ward goes at 1 because if they're not able to trade that first overall pick, they should take Cam Ward. But then also Tankathon has Abdul Carter at number 2. They just paid Myles Garrett. You're going to put Abdul Carter on the opposite side? You have other needs. They need a quarterback. Why wouldn't they take Shedeur Sanders? So, yeah, I use Tankathon a lot. I think all of us do. But I don't think their mock draft tab is that accurate. I don't think their mock draft tab is that great. So, all right, what else do we have on the docket? Make sure you're wearing deodorant. Make sure you're wearing cologne. Make sure it's body wash too, man. Some people don't know the meaning of water or soap. They don't know how to put the two together. Grown men and women. Like that's the problem. You don't shower properly, or you don't shower enough. But I think we did enough of that. But weigh in if you have good cologne recs, or if you have a friend that you're struggling with. Someone may be at work. That's the thing too. At work, you can't be smelly at work, bro. At work, boss might have to call you in and be like, "Hey, we got a couple reports. It's stinking up the joint. Can't have it." What else did I want to hit on now? Now that I'm blanking, let me go back. I always have 30 different tabs open as like I get scatterbrained, and now I'm doing the live stream too. I have people in there. In my chat. In my chat. Kevin Gold says, is it true Angel Reese is called the Bayou Barbie? That's wild, dude. Yeah, Angel Reese is a wild character herself. She said that the WNBA women should be making as much as the NBA. And I'm like, if that ain't girl math, if I ever heard it. I'm like, she can't be more misinformed, uninformed. Supposedly there's like a lockout coming for them. And then I saw a clip of Lisa Leslie on her podcast, straight up telling her, and she asked her, what's one thing in my game you would work on with me? And she's like, your layups. And it's hilarious because Angel Reese is able to get all of those rebounds from missing her own layups and getting the offensive rebound. I shouldn't even know all of this. Of course I should. I'm a sports radio host, but there was a point in time I couldn't tell you anything about WNBA. So at least the WFAN is making waves. Okay, I hit the Puka Nacua thing. Hopefully you've gone to your Twitter. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. The generational Juan Soto. So you know how everybody's anticipating the Subway Series and May 16th, 17th in the Bronx and what that scene's going to be like. And I told you that F. Altuve is going to turn into F. Juan Soto. But maybe it shouldn't. And maybe it won't last for long. Because I've seen Altuve get power from that. I've seen Altuve on his birthday homer after people are chanting F. Altuve. F his family. All right? Altuve, that's his family name. F. Altuve. F. Juan Soto is going to be specifically Juan Soto. But there's a viral video going around of spring training and a guy heckling Juan Soto while he is in the outfield. Fireside Mets. And they posted this and people are reposting it. This guy's saying overpaid, overrated. And Juan Soto just turns around and looks at him. Puts his glove on his hip, stares at the guy. He says something to him. But then the next at bat goes up and hits a homer, and the homer is hit almost to this Kenny Powers looking guy. When he hits the ball, and the ball like grazes the top of this guy's hands, and the guy falls wasted forever. I'm like, this guy can't show up to any baseball games ever again. You gave Juan Soto power. You thought you were going to the game to heckle Juan Soto, overrated, overpaid. And that just wakes up the beast in a guy like Juan Soto. So when Juan Soto comes to Yankee Stadium, I know fans are going to be torn. Some fans are going to be like the fan that was at spring training with the sign, "The Bronx still loves Soto." No, they don't. No, they don't. But some Yankee fans are going to show up, Juan, especially the ones that used to interact with him during the Yankee games that sat in right field, around right field. But then there's going to be some, hooligan wild Yankee fans that are chanting F Juan Soto, saying things to Juan Soto that I can't say on air. Juan Soto is going to take all that in, and then when he gets up to bat, walk him every single time. Walk him every single time. Will Warren, don't you dare throw him a strike. Don't you dare throw the ball over the plate. It is not going to end well. 888-808-1019. I thought that was great. I'm like, that's what spring training is for. Juan Soto, as much as we have talked about Juan Soto, I think I've been pretty consistent. I don't think once I've said Juan Soto is not going to be Juan Soto. He might be better. That's the crazy thing. What if he's just like a year better from his Yankee experience and playing with Judge and being a year older and in his prime? What if Juan Soto is able to just hit 40 bombs again? And I don't know how many ribbies. I think the question marks are with guys like Mark Vientos, Swaggy V. I believe in him. But I also know that the dynamic of last year was like he thought he was going to be with the team. They signed JD Martinez. He doesn't start the year with the team, and then he's super motivated. And sometimes guys need a chip on their shoulder. I can relate to that. Sometimes you need something. Sometimes you need to just have it. Like Tom Brady talks about it, like motivation. Did he say something about me before going up against an opponent? Mark Vientos, I think, is a guy that feeds off of the hate, off of the naysayers, off the skeptics. But after his performance in the postseason and what he did at times the end of the year coming up, like he's a made man. He's gonna hit homer. I remember saying, man, this guy's a 30 homer guy. This guy might be a 35 homer guy this year if he's healthy and hitting the whole time. Like he came up late and hit 27 home runs. So a lot of that pressure is going to be on Mark Vientos to do it again. No quote unquote sophomore slump. And I don't think there's going to be a sophomore slump. Not in this lineup. And if they're projecting it to be Francisco Lindor leading off, you guys heard Francisco Lindor on with BT and Sal? I heard a little bit of that. They tried to get him a couple times. I thought it was going to, the first thing I thought when I heard Lindor calling to BT and Sal was when Lindor checked in spring training and like Gary, Keith, and Ron were like, sound like you don't want to talk to us. And he's like, I'm tired, man. And I thought that was the same type of energy that he had for BT and Sal, but it was a good interview. And there was one point where he's like, it seems like you guys just want to talk about the struggles, or it seems like you only want to talk about the negative part. Like, I think and then BT clarified it. Like he's saying like, no, what we're trying to do is, give you credit for overcoming the struggles, overcoming the down, performances and rising, man. Like you could be a Yankee fan, you could be a Met fan. If you're a baseball fan, the year that Lindor put together last year was masterful. I was calling for him to be MVP. As much as Loogie says a lot of ridiculous stuff, something he was dead on about before people caught on was Lindor as an MVP candidate. That wasn't trolling. That wasn't a reach. That was like, he must have been watching him every day saying like, nah, this guy shows up every day, does it with his glove, does it with his bat, and should be in the consideration. And he ended up actually being the runner-up. He had much longer odds when Loogie was talking about it. I remember when Loogie first said it, I didn't think it was possible with Ohtani, but I also didn't think it was just possible at all. I'm like, I don't know. And then he went off. He went crazy. They moved him into the leadoff spot. And there were so many games that Lindor was the energy. He was like him leading off and him making plays on defense. I forget what game it was. Like he made a play kind of range into his right, like going into the outfield, catching the ball. He was so fired up. It just fired the crowd up, fired the team up. This guy might as well be the captain any day now. And with him leading off, Juan Soto behind him, Pete Alonso third, like you can't say that they don't potentially have the best 1, 2, 3. Any pitchers coming in got to face those guys right away. That's a tough day. That's a tough start. So they stay healthy. That's another thing too. Lindor talked about his back. Kind of gives you pause as a baseball fan, Mets fan, even as Yankee fans, right? Like he talked about how his back was killing him. I think they asked him about, I think Sal said something about how he hit that home run against the Braves and he was just trotting around the bases like nothing happened. Like it was, he said, one, job's not finished, Kobe line. And then two, he was like, also like my back, I was in pain. Like hopefully the back spasms, the back stuff is in the past. I remember I was in here watching the game. It was the way he was like, he slid in the second, the way he moved. So maybe that doesn't get triggered again. But they got to monitor that. They got to watch that because, you know, they keep asking him about playing every day. It's another Mets topic I wanted to get to tonight before we get out of here. He wants to play every day, and you got to love a guy that wants to play every day. In the Juan Soto mini movie that the Mets are promoting, Lindor talks about how New York is a place that if you bring it every day, like we have the fans, we have the culture for it. We have the fan, you know, the radio station for it. Like if you show up every day, you want to post every day, like there's people there that see that. There are people there that are rooting for you. There are people that notice that and will talk about it. Like that might not go on all the time in, I don't know, Cleveland, unless they're winning. And with Lindor saying no, he literally said, I want to play every day and I got to lift weights. I got to eat better and sleep. Those are the 3 ingredients to being ready to go every single day. And he's right on. You got to train your body, lift weights to be strong. You got to eat right so that you're recovering and resting so that you're ready to go, recovering the next day to be able to come out and play. And I think he will post. He's still young enough to do it. But they may need to stop him from himself. I was reading an article in SI. Maybe it was Pat Ragazzo. Shout out to Pat. I gotta text Pat. Get Pat to come on again. Pat's been doing his thing. Proud of his come up over these last couple years. Pat's a Hoboken guy, a Mets fan, and people have questioned his credibility. And I remember Pat reaching out to me, I think over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, just to connect. And I was like, yo, I got you, bro. You can come on with me. I see what you're doing. I'm aware of you. And I'm in Hoboken, Jersey City area. I'm supporting Jersey guys. But anyway, yeah, Pat had the article about the Mets and Mendoza talking about the backup shortstop. And Mendoza said they just have to have someone that can finish a game for us in a blowout game. Mendoza said of how the club is looking at their utility man role, maybe play 2 or 3 innings. If Francisco needs a day, it would be somebody that would feel comfortable for a day. But if it's something that is an extended absence from Lindor, which we don't want to see that, then we'd have to obviously have a backup shortstop. And he said, Jeff McNeil can go and finish a game at shortstop too. So that's the way they're looking at it. And then the article goes on to say that McNeil had logged just 1 big league inning at shortstop, which came in 2023, but he did play the position sparingly in Mets minor league system. And what are the other options? If the Mets don't feel comfortable with McNeil as the primary backup shortstop, they could opt to keep Luis Angel Acuna on the opening day roster. Acuna filled in nicely when Lindor was out with the back injury last season. So fingers crossed. And obviously no trolling, no hating, whatever. Like I want to see Lindor play. This team needs Lindor to play. He's got to play every day. But they just got to be on top of his back situation and make sure that doesn't flare up, because the team looks a lot different without his energy leading off and making plays and bringing it defensively, every single game. The Mets have a target on their back. They're not sneaking by anybody. Everybody knows who Juan Soto is. Everybody saw what Lindor did last year. So now, for the first time in a long time, you're coming into a season where, you're expected to win 90-plus games. You're expected to make the postseason, but there are teams that are gunning for you. I know it as a Yankee fan. I always am puzzled at, how do the Yankees not know they're going to get everybody's best shot? How do the Yankees not know that, you're going to go to D.C. and the Washington Nationals are going to try and beat you every single game in front of your fans who have traveled the Nationals Park. So, all right, 888-808-1019. I think I have one more break, so we'll break here. When we come back, I'll wrap things up. I'll check my notes and see what we missed, and if there's anything else I want to add, I will do so. If there's anything else you want to add, last call for calls. This is Keith McPherson on the Fan till 2 a.m. Big Mac is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. Got 1,000 watching here. Cleared my calls. Cleared my notes. Cleared all my topics. But I'm gonna cook up. I'm about to find some other stuff right now that I did not hit on yet. I talked about Bosa. Talked about Hopkins. Cavs 15th win against the Nets. I'm watching the replay now. I knew the Nets weren't going to beat them. Oh, Big East tourney. That's what I wanted to do. Let's see. Tomorrow at 12. Big East tournament. Not tomorrow. Okay, so the Big East tournament. All right, that's what we're going to come back with. The Cardinals signed Jacoby Brissett. Reliable backup. It's not worth talking about. Oh, I know what I was supposed to do too. I don't even know, bro. How did that happen? Oh my, so much goes on. I'm too tired for what goes on a daily basis, yo. Good grief, man. Yikes. Okay. I gotta try and go to the Big East tournament. I have no clue, bro. I'm like going through my DMs. Anyway. All right. I got less than 20 minutes here to wrap this thing up, and then I'm off until Thursday. The boy Al Cintron will be in tomorrow. I think you get an extended Lug hour, and then Al Cintron will go fill in for me. 888-808-1019. What I want to do here is go back to a couple of things, but I don't want to leave anybody hanging on the phone. Anybody that calls you will get in. So my agenda does not take place before your agenda. So let's go to Chris in Bergen County on the Fan, and then I'll fill in the blanks the rest of the way. What's up, Chris? I thought that was you, Coach. I'm all right. Mm-hmm.
You're saying, and get the wide receiver, I want to build that line and let this kid do damage between him and Brees Hall. And you know what? Let's keep his arm, to the side a little bit, do what he has to do, and we'll work on it.
Yeah.
Confidence with his legs.
No, you're 100% correct.
It's going to be great.
I always want to go for the sexy, splashy pick, especially with a new regime. But like, this is a deep draft for wide receivers. They don't need to take the top wide receiver off the board. Take the first tackle, the best tackle off the board, and then in the later rounds, you can add a receiver.
Right. And like you were saying, that's going to probably be the first tackle off the board. So you're going to get the best that's coming out.
Yeah, I think that's the better plan. And some of these receivers are going to drop. Like Luther Burden, they're saying Luther Burden is going to drop. And if he's dropping, like, I don't know. This is a class of wide receivers. There's a lot of guys that can burn it. There's a lot of guys that can catch the ball. There's receivers with size. You don't need to reach. It would be typical Jets to reach for a receiver at 7 that like maybe Tedero McMillan being out in Arizona maybe doesn't translate here to New Jersey. So now I'm kind of thinking differently about that. I'm thinking maybe you do need to follow Tankathon, take this Armand Membo, who's 6'5", 332, 21 years old, out of Missouri. If he can be your right tackle, then you have your bookends, your right and left tackle for maybe the next decade.
Right, and if you pair that with Fields, you know what, the kid's been bounced around all over the place. You know, I don't think he's ever had a head coach like Glenn is going to be. I see Aaron putting his arm around this kid and being like, listen, you know what? I know you've been through hell and high water, and you know what? All that stuff is all over with, and we're going to go forward here. And he's going to be like a father figure to him, I think.
I could see it. I could see it. And you know what I said the first night that I was on? I'm like, these guys are with the Lions. You think they weren't watching film of Justin Fields? You think they're not familiar with his assets, like his game, what he does? Like, you think they saw something that they felt like they could work with? Aaron Glenn has probably studied enough film of him with Chicago, being a defensive coordinator to know, like, this kid is talented. And if Tanner Engstrand is on board, which obviously they are, they went to go get him. They're going to cook something up here.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely going to be good. And like you were saying, you know what? We just need something positive in East Rutherford at some point along
the way that he plays the quarterback position is just going to be so different than Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, even go back like Ryan Fitzpatrick, Josh McCown.
Like you were saying too, you know, his arm isn't polished, but he throws darts. And let's think about East Rutherford and what that stadium is like.
Yep.
It's horrible to play in, especially if you don't have a strong arm. His ball is a very, very tight spiral, which if you play in East Rutherford, you gotta have, because you gotta get the nose of that ball down and be able to break that wing. And you know what? That kid's arm's gonna be good there.
Yeah, and he's got rapport with Garrett Wilson, and they're gonna get going. And Jeremy Ruckert, I think he's gonna work. I know so many people want to say this guy sucks. He's never been good. Typical Jets. They go pay this guy, and he's just gonna be mid. But I'm more willing to give him a chance.
Look at who he's had. Who has he had? You know, yeah, he's never had a good coaching staff behind him.
Yeah, he went to UGA, he left. He went to Ohio State. He gets drafted by the Bears. He's there for a couple years. He spends 1 year with Pittsburgh, and like that's another thing, coach. He was 4-2. He started off 4-0. He was running the ball. He was throwing the ball. He was scoring points. He wasn't turning the ball over. And so many people I've heard on this radio station say, he sucks. Mike Tomlin's a good coach. Mike Tomlin didn't believe in him. Mike Tomlin leaned on the veteran. Mike Tomlin leaned on the Super Bowl winner. Mike Tomlin moved away from him, and Arthur Smith moved away from him to get their pass game going. They should have went back to him because they ended up losing 5 in a row. They should have went back to him. They ended up not getting it done. Maybe if he was able to, get back in there instead of being on the bench, the younger guy as the season went on, like, I don't know. I don't think that it's indicative of how Tomlin felt about him. I think it's just a hierarchy thing. We're going with the guy that's got way more experience, that's got a Super Bowl to lead these guys than to go with the younger guy.
How they didn't have 2 packages set up for those guys is beyond me. You're saying you had 2 guys on that roster in terms of Pittsburgh that, unbelievable talent. But, and it's just, I don't know. The league is weird, and a lot of these guys would be a lot better coaches if they would play to the strength of who they have around them on the field, instead of trying to take a guy and fit him into their box. You know what? How about you make your play calls of their ability, not the opposite way?
Yeah, it has to be that way. You can't force a round peg into a square hole. You have to lean into guys' skill sets and what they do. Thanks for the call, Coach. 888-808-1019. With Justin Fields, we know he's a runner, but you don't want him running. You want him running as a way to get out of trouble. You want him running in short yardage. You want him to be the threat running the ball that the defense isn't accounting for. You want him to be running the ball when it's a goal-to-go situation, and he's able to just get around the corner, get around the edge, and run it in. I've heard so many people on this radio station already say that he can't throw the ball. I just think it's ridiculous. I watched him light it up with DJ Moore. I think him and Garrett Wilson can get it going. I watched him light it up with Garrett Wilson in Ohio State. I think he needs to work on the touch on his passes. But like you just heard Coach say, in MetLife, when it's windy and it's cold and receivers are open, he throws the ball on a rope. He throws a tight spiral. He throws the ball hard. I think Justin Fields, if the Jets didn't get him, there would have been other teams. The Giants probably wanted him. There's definitely other teams that would have taken a flyer on him. He's one of the shinier objects that were available in this class. And it's going to be a philosophy change. When you watch the Jets offense last year, it was like they didn't want to run the ball because of Aaron Rodgers. There were so many times where it was like, yo, you got big-ass Braylon Allen. Why isn't he getting the ball on 4th and 1? That's going to change. I think Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engstrand, they want to run the ball first. Like, they want to run the ball to set up the pass. So they're going to run the ball with Breece Hall. They're going to run the ball with Justin Fields. They're going to run the ball with Braylon Allen. And then you're going to get the play action where Garrett Wilson's going to find himself open. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm willing to give them a shot. I'm willing to give them a chance. I'm willing to see if they can get it done before just saying, nope, same old Jets. They're going to fail. These guys are walking into a buzzsaw. These guys aren't going to be able to get it done. They're not going to be any different than the guys before them. They've got a young, talented core. These guys want to win, and they were able to win games with Zach Wilson. They should have won more games with Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers didn't have it. Aaron Rodgers didn't have it late. Aaron Rodgers turned the ball over. Aaron Rodgers blew some of those games that they had leads in. 888-808-1019. The only thing that I wanted to add, and I have 5 minutes left, 6 minutes left, last call for alcohol. The Big East tournament. I'm trying to go, but I don't ever sleep. I'm looking at the schedule. Like tomorrow, number 9, or not tomorrow, it's today. Today is March 12th. I can't go. It's my wife's birthday. Shout out to my wife, too. Pumped. I'm not going to be on the radio. We're going to dinner. So you guys will miss me tomorrow. And it's whack because I didn't miss a KM to AM, a 5-hour, a 7 to 12 for weeks because I was on a mission after I went on vacation with my wife and my son. And people are hitting me up like, yo, did you get fired from WFAN? I'm like, bruh, what? I'm like, I get fired on vacation. Like, oh, people are saying you got fired. I'm like, what is this? I'm getting screenshots. I'm like, all right, I'm on the ass when I come back. So I'm not even taking off. So this will be the first KM to AM that I do miss. And obviously I've kind of like branded that show. I've sold hoodies and t-shirts and like that name. Like I got a logo made and all that. And I love that show. I love doing that 5-hour KM to AM. But like I said, when I get out of the way, it gives other people opportunity. And I'm excited for Al to get his opportunity early. I know what that feeling is like, right? I know what that feeling is like. Like you're doing the late night show and then you get an opportunity to come on a little bit earlier when people can hear you. You get different calls. You get a different energy, a different vibe. It's earlier in the day. I don't know, at least for me, your cognitive functions are actually functioning. Like I'm tired as hell right now. When you get on earlier, you're sharper. So Loogie will be on 6:30 to 8, and then Al Cintron will be on 8 to 12. So he'll do a 4-hour AC, or he should call it AL to AM. He should do a 4-hour AL to AM on the Fan, and then I'll be back Friday, and then I have a show on Sunday. But I do want to go to this Big East tournament. I want to see St. John's. So St. John's is on at 12 on Thursday. So I think I'm going to try and get up and go over there because I'm not going to be on tomorrow night. I can go to sleep. I think I got to go see St. John's on Thursday. So here's the schedule. Butler versus Providence at 4 p.m. today. Then DePaul versus Georgetown at 6:30 today. And then Seton Hall, Villanova at 9 p.m. I won't be able to go to those games, but I think I'm going to be there to see St. John's at 12 o'clock versus whoever they end up rocking against. And then it's Marquette. Oh, Marquette versus Xavier tomorrow at 2:30. So it starts at 2:30. I didn't even see that. It's funny. Like the way Google has the schedule is backwards. So from the top, Big East tournament. Number 4, Xavier versus number 5, Marquette at 2:30 p.m. Number 8, Providence versus number 9, Butler at 4 p.m. Number 7, Georgetown versus number 10, DePaul at 6:30 p.m. Number 6, Villanova versus number 11, Seton Hall at 9 p.m. And then the 1 seed, St. John's, and the 2 seed, Creighton, will wait to face who they face tomorrow. And I think I'm going to pull up for that. 888-808-1019. Jose is in the Bronx, back on the Fan.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thanks for calling, man.
Yeah, I talked to you yesterday.
I know.
You remember me, right?
Yeah. You were talking about Brock Purdy, no?
Yeah.
I mentioned you earlier today because there was a report out there that like they're gonna have a huge contract for Brock Purdy, and they're letting players go, and they've cut players, and they're trying to put all this money for a massive extension. Brock Purdy will not be a Giant. He's gonna stay with the 49ers.
Okay, all right, I can deal with that. But I just heard you talk, right? And I called, and I am so glad that I got back on. You know that you just mentioned that they're gonna be a run team, that Jet team, right? What do you think Garrett Wilson's gonna feel like? Because don't you think that he wants to be like a feature? Don't you think that he would like a quarterback who is going to throw the ball to him? Because he's about to get paid, right?
He's gonna get paid. He's gonna be the number 1 wide receiver. He already got a lot of targets, but now he's gonna get all of the targets, and it's his friend. It's somebody he's known for the last 4 years, 5 years since college. I think Garrett Wilson's going to be happy with this regime. There's going to be order. It's not going to, like, I remember Garrett Wilson talking about how he watches other offenses in the NFL and he wonders why it's so hard for the Jets to just have an NFL caliber offense. I think that they will have an NFL caliber offense this year.
I hope so, because I like the dude. I think he's a good dude, and I think he's talented. I think he's better than our neighbors, and I'm a Giant fan.
So, it's funny. There was a take inside of here where I think Morash and Loogie were saying that Malik Neighbors was better than Garrett Wilson before he played one NFL game. And I was like, that's crazy. That's preposterous. But after seeing Malik Neighbors this year, I'm like, hell, Malik Neighbors is one of the best receivers in the league. And he did it with Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito. They're both really good. They're different styles of receivers. Let's see when they both have consistent quarterback play. I don't know who the Giants are going to have throwing in the ball. It might be Jameis Winston. And I'm starting to come around on the idea. I think Jameis to New York makes a lot of sense. Like Jameis would be bigger than ever in New York City.
If you could make it happen.
Yeah, I think it's going down. Jose, you're the man. Thanks for the call. 888-808-1019. So we will have Jameis Winston throwing the ball to Malik Neighbors and Justin Fields throwing the ball to Garrett Wilson. And, I think Garrett Wilson will not be looking for a trade. I think Garrett Wilson will be happy to have his Ohio State buddy with him and have actual coaches in the building that are no nonsense, that are going to put together game plans and scheme and watch film and know what to do. And, coach called me up and he said, no, they should draft the first tackle off the board and don't chase the sexy pick with the wide receiver, because they could get a wide receiver. I don't know. There's going to be plenty of wide receivers available in the draft, and you don't have to reach at 7. I think right tackle is more of a need for this Jets offense, and protecting the quarterback and being able to open holes for Breece Hall and running the ball. All right. I'm out until Thursday. Stay tuned for Big Mac. Call now to be on his show. Everybody have a good night. I'm out. All right, yo, I'm out of here. That's it. Thanks for watching the stream. Subscribe, do all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Good night.